On day 1, I spawned into the Zelkova forest as a flying squirrel. This animal feels like it should be impossible, and yet, here I am. Wait, I've only got 6 hearts? I might not be here for long if I run into some dangerous mobs. And by now, you'd think I'd have learned to not say that out loud, but it was already too late. A cave spider came skittering out between the big red trees.
I have sensed the presence of a weakling to be crushed by me. Cave and Spidero, the ultimate warrior/ninja.
Your name is Cave and Spidero? That'd be like if my name was Flying Squirrel, but it's not. It's Zozo.
I care not for the names of trash mobs. You won't even have the honor and privilege of learning my humble moniker.
You mean your name? We were literally just talking about it, Cave and Spidero.
Oh, drat! Darn! Looks like I mustn't allow you to survive. Go, Ninetales! I choose you!
There was a flash of light, and somehow Cave and Spidero, the cave spider, summoned a fire-type Pokemon into the forest.
Ninetales, destroy this flying fool!
Flying? That's right! I zoomed into the air and flew away from Cave and Spidero and his Ninetales.
You can't escape me! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth!
I kept going until I was far enough away that I couldn't hear that spider's annoying laugh. Then, I found a tree to rest in for the night. Cave and Spidero flipped out on me for just introducing myself. What a creep! Let's hope there are nicer people in this world than that guy. On day 2, I managed to escape the Zelkova forest into the actual less scary orchard. This is perfect! Nobody will think to look for a flying squirrel in this forest. Just look at this fabulous tree. Great job, Zozo! But even a flying squirrel cannot fly away from the need to eat. All the escaping I did from Cave and Spidero made me hungry, so I started searching for some good nosh. What even is there to eat in the orchard? Any apples around? Luckily for me, I was able to discover a delicious lychee tree. The lychees are the delicious part, of course, not the wood. I picked the yummy lychees off the tree and collected some, which I promptly ate while wishing I had some boba tea to enjoy with them. Or I guess here it'd be bulbous tea, and that just sounds gross. Near the lychee tree, I found a dusty old chest, and when I opened it, I was lucky to discover some awesome tools. A stone sword, a stone axe, and a stone pickaxe. Hey, that's a great starting loadout. Talk about good timing. But my timing wouldn't be all good, as soon enough, a deadly Ninetales came running out of the shadows.
Ninetales.
Is that all you can say?
No, but Mr. Spidero pays us extra when we just say our own name. He also pays us when we say gang gang and ice cream so good.
That's weird. I guess we should fight. And we did. His fireballs were tough, but this time I was armed. With a few well-placed strikes, this Ninetales' 9 lives were all up. Oh yeah. That's how we do it in the orchard. I'd come to love this cozy forest and decided it would be the perfect location for my new summer home. That's why I used my tools to mine some stone and cut up some wood and start building myself an awesome little base in a giant tree. It wasn't much to begin with, but it was prime real estate I could easily expand with time. Cave and Spidero ain't nothing to me. On day 3, I went to gather some nightshade wood for my base from the nightshade forest. I equipped my stone axe and began to chop through the tall trees. Any one of these could yield a ton of wood. I'll have enough time to build in no time. But as I hacked away, I found that the trees were inhabited by a group of tarsiers who didn't take too kindly to me chopping down their homes.
We don't take too kindly to you squirrels with axes coming around the maple taiga to chop down trees.
Sorry, I just needed enough wood to build my base.
You're gonna need to build your face after we're done breaking it. Get on, fellow tarsiers!
The tarsiers swarmed me and began to deal damage to my hearts. I swung around my stone axe at them and managed to take a couple down, but there were just too many. Okay, you can keep your wood. I'm leaving.
Too late now, little squirrel. We're gonna get ya.
It seemed as if there was no escape. And then a Myrmex Royal showed up.
Come with me if you want to be alive.
I do want that. Adios, tarsiers. The Myrmex Royal cleared a path through the mobs and gave me enough time to fly away. I followed the Myrmex Royal through the maple taiga for a while until he looked up at me.
Why are you following me?
You said to come with you.
Oh, I don't know where I'm going though.
Want to come to my base?
Yeah.
From day 4 to day 5, I returned to the orchard with my new friend, the Myrmex Royal. How'd you like for me to build you your own room, MR?
That would be acceptable to me.
I was hoping for a little more enthusiasm, but I can still work with that. We arrived at the base, and the Myrmex Royal decided to stand to the side and do his breathing exercises while I worked on the base. First, I built a new floor. I wasn't totally sure whether Myrmex Royals had special requirements, so I just built him a cool, comfy room with a bed and some storage. You get what you pay for, and this place is free. After that, I decided I needed a nicer room for myself as well. Feeling a lot more comfortable on this massive bed, but my construction noises had a dark side. It attracted another Ninetail.
Gang, ice cream so good. Ninetails.
I fought it off courageously, defeating it despite getting a little burned by its fire. And my awesomeness was rewarded as it dropped a new special weapon, the Bubble Wood Sword. Wow, this thing has the weight of a bubble. It'll be so much easier to use, since, unlike me, he was a carnivore. From day 6 to day 8, I decided that I needed a good recurring source of meat for Myrmex Royal, since, unlike me, he was a carnivore. I discovered a flock of wild turkeys in the orchard and herded them into a wooden pen back at my base. It's turkey lurkey time, baby! I returned to explore the orchard and see if I could find any more turkeys. I ended up just finding one, Cave-in Spyro himself.
Ha ha ha! My nemesis stands before me once more. This time I won't go so easy on you this time.
It's astounding how you somehow even get pretty simple sentences wrong. He said he was wielding some kind of frosted sword in his spidery clutches. I drew my own bubblewood weapon and prepared to defend myself. I'm warning you, Spyro. You won't get an easy fight out of me.
Ha ha ha! Of course not! You escaped me once, so now I can see that you are my most worthiest of worthy adversaries, which is why you will taste the sting of my ultimate angel demon god frosted sword!
Cave-in scuttled in faster than I could dodge and struck me with his frosted sword. It slowed my movement somehow, perhaps by magic. I tried to strike back, but my counterattacks weren't quick enough. Even the Bubblewood sword couldn't be used to its full potential when I was debuffed like this. I was losing hearts rapidly, and Cave-in Spyro seemed like he wasn't letting up. But then, for some reason, he actually did.
Ha ha ha! If that's all you've got, perhaps I was wrong about you. I will spare your last heart for now, but if you ever get any stronger, I will come for you.
Wait, you're letting me go?
For now. Count yourself lucky, Squirrel. Fly away now, in shame.
I flew away, totally defeated. From day 9 to day 10, I was lying down at my base, feeling depressed about how embarrassing that fight with Cave-in Spyro was. Luckily, I had all the wisdom and tact of the Myrmex Royal here to help me.
Zozo, this is no time to be a baby man. You need to get up and work to reach your flying squirrel potential. Come and look upon my works.
You always know the right thing to say, MR.
I am a wordsmith of Shakespearean proportions.
I went outside my room for the first time that day and saw that MR had built some cool new upgrades. A meditation room for relaxing and reflecting, and a furnace for heating and forging. I returned to him, already cheered up from my earlier slump. This is incredible, MR! Thank you!
But this is not all, baby man. I have begun construction of something far more meaningful than mere buildings.
I looked and saw that he was right. MR had started building an awesome statue. It was still in its early stages, but that didn't stop it from looking incredible. What do you think it is? Tell me in the comments, cause I need all the help I can get. From day 11 to day 12, I was deep in meditation when a vision of the past came into my mind. I could see Cave-in Spyro cutting a swath of carnage across the overworld using his frosted sword. He would challenge any mob that stood in his path, and with his many skills, he would achieve victory over and over again. On a distant mountain, I saw him standing and brandishing a sword, undefeated after 100 battles. He had a Ninetail standing by his side.
Denizens of this overworld, come and face me, the great and powerful Cave-in Spyro. If you dare to test yourselves in battle, I have slain many a worthy foe, and I shall slay many more. For I am the strongest of all, and I walk a lonely road, the only road that I have ever known. I don't know where it goes, but it's only me, and I walk alone. Ha 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 ha!
That last annoying cackle of Cave-In Spyro caused me to violently snap out of my state of meditative zen. I think I understand Cave-In Spyro now. He's lonely, but all he can do is try to prove he's the best. It seems like I'll need to face him again so that he deals with his problems in a more healthy way. From day 13 to day 15, I decided it was time to settle an old score with a certain gang of pint-sized primates. Hey, Tarsiers, remember me?
I feel like I'd remember someone as ugly as you, but you're not ringing a bell.
Don't worry, I'll ring your bell for you. And the battle was on. They were still tough little beasts, but with the experience I'd already earned from my time here, I had the skills to pay the bills. Those Tarsiers hospital bills, that is. Soon enough, I defeated all of them and leveled up into a bigger, tougher flying squirrel with 18 hearts and a new power. Smash! Smashing! That's what British people say to mean good, right? From day 16 to day 19, I was mining for iron to strengthen my arsenal. The stone pickaxe I had was starting to get old, and I was hoping to replace it. I was in for a surprise when I was ambushed by a puma. It leaped out of the darkness of the cave to try and devour me. Oh, back off, big cat. I'm pretty sure this isn't your natural habitat. But then again, I'm a flying squirrel, so who am I to talk? I drew my bubblewood sword and unleashed a flurry of rapid slashes. The puma had strong claws, but with my new amount of hearts, I had no problem holding my own. I've got the speed, I've got the power. Feeling hyped, I used my smash ability to break the ground beneath the puma's feet, causing us both to fall to the bottom of a large pit. We took the fall damage, and then I swooped in and delivered the final attack. Down goes the puma! After that epic battle, I built my way back in and managed to find some iron ore. I returned to the base to take advantage of the wonderful furnace that MR had built for me. With some crafting, I was able to make myself an iron pickaxe and an iron sword and a few pieces of armor. Probably still gonna use my bubble wood sword, but having an iron sword is cool too. From day 20 to day 22, I was eating some candy when I felt an ominous aura fall over the base. Something terribly powerful was drawing near, and I could only imagine what. That's when the Myrmex Royal came creeping into the room. He seemed to know exactly what was happening outside.
Cave-In Spyro has arrived. You must face him, or you will never be able to escape your destiny.
Whoa, what a thing to say. You're right though, I can't put off dealing with him any longer. I marched outside with my bubblewood sword and found Cave-In Spyro waiting for me. He was carrying the frost sword and was braced for battle.
Ha 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 ha! I heard that you became stronger, and from the looks of it, the rumors were true. Now I'm going to destroy you as promised.
Yeah, I know why you're here, but I'm not going to let that happen. Let's rock! I used my smash ability all over the ground to drop Cave-In Spyro into a large pit. Then I circled overhead with my flight ability. His sword would slow me down if it hit, so I waited for an opening and flew down to hit Cave-In with a fast attack. Then I dodged before he could swipe back at me. I managed to get a few more hits in before my nemesis climbed out of the pit and slashed me with the slowness effect of the frosted sword. I wasn't going to let that stop me, and I dodged many of his other attacks while hitting him over and over again with the bubble wooden sword. Before long, we were both heavily damaged and staring each other down.
Ha ha ha! You are better than I thought you'd be. Our rivalry is truly one for the ages.
Good. I've made my point then. You should fight again another day, if that's how you really feel.
You make a good point. I can't wait to see what you're like when you're even stronger than this. Come seek me out when you've achieved your next level of power.
Cave-In Spyro left my base with a sword, and I breathed a sigh of relief. I stood my ground on this day, but tougher battles lay ahead. From day 23 to day 26, my good buddy MR approached me while I was chilling in our meditation room, contemplating all of life's biggest questions.
Zozo, your efforts were extremely impressive in that last fight. You're becoming less of a baby man, and for that, you should be proud.
Thanks, MR. I will admit, you have a real talent for making a compliment sound like a threat.
I'm sorry, it's just my accent. Here, I forged you a new piece of armor, the dragon scale chestplate. It will make you much stronger against the dragon fighter attacks of the Ninetales Legion.
I took the chestplate and put it on. Already, I felt a whole lot safer. Thank you so much, MR. This is gonna help a huge amount in my adventures. And if you watching this want to help me in my adventures, you've gotta search ZOZO for more videos.
Who are you talking to, Zozo?
It'd take way more than 100 days to explain that, MR. From day 27 to day day 31, MR continued to prove that he was the mysterious insectoid gift that kept on giving. He continued working on the statue while I was adventuring, and while I couldn't quite tell what it was yet, I was captivated by seeing how well it had come along. Stellar work, MR! You're a mermex of many talents.
Thank you, Zozo. But one talent I don't have is resource gathering. I've already gathered a bunch of moogaloo for the statue, but I still need some quartz.
Quartz. Like the quartz they have in the quartz desert?
The very same, actually.
That was all I needed to hear. I was already on my way to the beautiful quartz desert. But this wouldn't be a leisure trip. As soon as I arrived, a sneaky Ninetales blasted a fireball at me. Lucky for me, my new chest plate tanked it.
What? No fair. Ice cream so good, but that isn't good for me.
I quickly defeated the Ninetales with my awesome sword, and with my iron pickaxe, it was easy to dig up some quartz for MR's mysterious statue. From day 32 to day 35, I was flying far above the quartz desert, eager to return to my base and see what MR had in mind for this quartz. But I saw a sad-looking Gelada panicking on the ground far below, and decided that this sad little creature needed a hand. So I used my flying squirrel power to swoop down and see what was going on. Hey, I'm Zozo. Is everything okay?
I'm Jerry the Gelada. And no, everything's not okay. One of the scariest guys in the world, Mr. Veer, the poacher, kidnapped my friend, the sectoid guard.
You've got a buggy best friend too? I'd be devastated if someone kidnapped MR. Tell me where to find this nasty customer, and I'll save your friend.
Thank you. His evil lair is inside the lush caves, but tread lightly. He's a tricky customer, and it won't be easy.
From day 36 to day 39, I crept into the lush caves, staying keenly aware of my surroundings. After all, Jerry the Gelada told me that this Mr. Veer was a tricky customer. It didn't take me long to find Mr. Veer's lair, where he had the sectoid guard locked inside a diabolical cage.
Please, let me go, you maniac.
Maniac? How dare you? Everyone treats me like a maniac, and whenever they do, it leaves me no choice but to completely annihilate them, so I can prove just how sane and reasonable I am.
It was clear I didn't have much time before Mr. Veer snapped and did something horrible to the sectoid guard. I formed a plan. I'd sneak up behind Mr. Veer and take him out quietly so I could free the sectoid without any mess. But I had no idea just how messy this plan would get. From day 40 to day 43, I tried to sneak up on Mr. Veer, but he must have expected someone would do this. Without even realizing it, I stepped on a pressure pad for a TNT trap. Boom! A huge explosion rocked the lush cave, throwing me off balance.
Huh. Thought you could outsmart me? Try outsmarting this, you flying fool!
Mr. Veer pulled out a firework crossbow and started blasting. I tried my best to dodge as he fired the projectiles around me, blowing away blocks. I needed to pull out the big guns. I used my smash ability to destroy the ground around him. Then I lunged in and finished him off with a few careful strikes of my bubblewood sword. You've poached your last sectoid, Veer! After that, I picked up his firework crossbow and used it to blow up the cage holding the sectoid guard.
Thank you, stranger. I owe you everything. I never thought I'd get out of there.
Not long after he got the sense the coast was clear, Jerry the Gelada entered the cave to thank me too.
You've done me a great kindness, Zozo. Believe me, it shall be repaid.
From day 44 to day 49, after going on that whole crazy adventure, I returned to the base to give MR my hard-earned quartz.
What took you so long, Zozo?
Oh, I don't have the energy to even begin explaining that. That whole scenario left me feeling a little stressed, so I took some time to construct a relaxing pond on the side of my base. Something about looking into that beautiful still water really calmed my nerves. Oh, that's better. I've had such a weird week. But another thing cheered me up afterwards. MR had made another leap forward with the statue. It almost looked done. Can you guess what it is yet? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to see who guesses correctly. From day 50 to day 53, I got the worst awakening possible. My base was being infested by flame-spewing Ninetail. I don't remember inviting you over. I'm gonna have to politely ask you to leave, or I'm gonna destroy you. But it didn't listen. It was too busy trying to set everything on fire. I fought it off, even gaining enough XP in the process to level up. I got bigger, stronger, went up to a total of 24 hearts, and even got a new ability, climbing walls. This is amazing. Look at how big I've gotten, MR. Wait, MR, where are you? Meanwhile, over at the evil lair of one Caven Spyro, the worst had happened. He'd kidnapped MR while I was fighting all the Ninetales and locked him away in a cage.
You'll never get away with this, Spyro. Zozo will come for me.
Ha ha ha! You naive little mob! That's exactly what I'm counting on.
From day 54 to day 57, I worked hard to put the base back into its former state, which wasn't easy without MR and his exceptional building skills to help me. Clearly, as goofy as he seems, Caven Spyro knows a thing or two. If I want to defeat him and get my friend back, I need to hit the books. That's why I started painstakingly constructing a library, filled with the impressive bookshelves and a nice place to sit and read. You know what they say, knowing is half the battle. I started researching. I read books on ancient battle techniques, on the strengths and weaknesses of cave spiders, and on the ways to harness my true power as an awakened flying squirrel. My brain will be more powerful than any edgy frost sword. That's when a familiar friend, Jerry Gelada, arrived at my base.
Zozo, I heard about your friend MR, and I am truly sorry about what happened. You helped me in my time of need, so now I'll help you. I can give you the coordinates to Caven's base in the Ibis Fields.
Thank you, Jerry. That's exactly what I need to save the day. But before I can do that, I need to prep the big weapons. From day 58 to day 62, I stayed true to my word, traveling down into a dark, treacherous mining cavern. I underestimated Caven Spyro before. That was how he got one over me. I'm not going to make that mistake again. It's time to go in with maximum knowledge and maximum weaponry. As I descended into the mine, though, I saw something bizarre and impossible. An angry Cape Buffalo. Yeesh, I don't think I want to take that thing on. Thankfully, I've got a power for exactly this occasion. I climbed up the wall of the cave, completely avoiding the buffalo, who didn't even notice me. Avoiding this confrontation paid off, too, because I soon found an abandoned chest containing a diamond sword and a diamond pickaxe. Okay, I can work with this. From day 63 to day 66, despite my new weapons and knowledge, I still felt so powerless. All I could do was sit around my base and mope. Totally alone! I looked up at the unfinished statue, a sad reminder of my failure to save my friend. If I couldn't save him, I'd never see that statue completed. No, I can't even think like that. I'm pretty sure MR would put his life on the line to save me, so I need to be ready to do the same for him. And if you think I should save MR, make sure you're subscribed to the channel and ring the bell to never miss another video. From day 67 to day 70, I made my way to the Ibis Fields based on the directions that I had received from Jerry. I was here to save MR from Caven Spyro, and I was armed and ready for the task. This is for you, MR. I'm not going home until you're safe and coming with you. I could hear the unsettling noises of the Ninetales who were on guard.
Ninetales, gang gang, Ninetales.
It's still so weird how they talk.
Did you guys hear something?
Oops, better stay quiet. I snuck around them and used my climbing walls ability to scale the fortress's walls. Once I was up top, I entered an open window and crawled inside. Infiltration successful. Now it's time for this rescue mission to go burr. From day 71 to day 74, I wandered the halls of the fortress with my bubblewood sword in hand. There were Ninetales below, but I wasn't about to draw attention to myself. I entered a suspiciously empty room that seems like the perfect place for an ambush. Right on cue, a band of big tarsiers came pouring in to obstruct my path.
You thought you had seen The Last of Us, but we were farcier from gone. We're gonna pun issue this time.
Another round with the Tarsiers wasn't the rematch that I came here for, but I guess it's the rematch I deserve. I fought my way through the monkey mosh pit with everything I had. The Tarsiers were tougher than ever, but so was I. With each step further and each Tarsier defeated, I was closer to saving MR. In the corner of the room, I found a hidden chest containing a full set of diamond armor. A fitting reward for such a tough battle. I could use the extra defense right now, since I took a lot of damage during that fight. From day 75 to day 78, I found the dungeon chamber where Cave and Spyro was holding MR. Both my friend and my nemesis were there, and I watched from a distance as they spoke to each other.
No, I will never join you. I made that mistake once, but that was before I totally recalled my morals.
Such a shame. You are a powerful bug like me, but since you have declined, I must destroy you. It is the only way to bring out the strength of my true nemesis. I will go get my sword and finish you off.
Cave and Spyro left the dungeon room and passed under my hiding place. This was the golden opportunity for me to jump out and sneak attack. He didn't have his sword, so he'd be weaker. But that just wouldn't be fair, so I stayed hidden and let him pass by. Maybe I'm too merciful, but I guess I'll think about that later. Time to go save MR. I walked up to the cell and found MR exactly where Cave and Spyro left him. MR, I'm here!
Zozo, I knew you'd make it. Let's get out of here and never be back.
You said it. I don't know how long it'll be until Cave and Spyro gets back. We snuck out together and were able to avoid my nemesis somehow. Maybe we were finally safe from him. From day 79 to day 84, MR and I made it outside of Cave and Spyro's base and into the Ibis Fields. He went on ahead while I took one last look behind me at my rival's lair. What I saw made me shudder in my tracks. Cave and Spyro was standing on the roof of his base, looking down at me.
You thought I didn't notice you before, but you are mistaken. It seems that you spared me, but this was foolishness on your part. You're still taking me lightly, but never again. Everything else I was holding back will now be unleashed as I show you my even more ultimate strength.
Cave and Spyro grew to an immense size, and I could tell that he was more serious than I ever thought he could be. His frosted sword grew along with him, making it the most powerful weapon in the overworld.
The next time we fight, I will be in this form, the ultimate one, as I previously mentioned, and we will decide who is the strongest.
I would have my work cut out for me. For now, I retreated. From day 85 to day 89, I caught up with MR, and the two of us returned to my base, where we meditated to get over the stress of the rescue mission. I concentrated and was able to find peace by tuning everything else out. When I was done with the meditation, MR had already left the room, but he had also left behind an enchantment book for the fire aspect. This will make a good counter to the effects of the frosted sword that Cave and Spyro likes to use. I think I'll put it on my bubble sword. I added the enchanted book to my sword, and I went to go find MR to thank him. I searched the whole base before finding him standing near the completed statue. It was an airplane, the best flying thing ever, and an inspiration to me as a creature of the air. It looks awesome, MR, and I'm really glad to have you back.
I always knew I'd be back. Now all you must do is settle your score with Cave and Spyro.
I think I'm almost ready, but I'm not sure about that new form of his.
You're right to be worried. I've never seen Cave and Spyro like that. But in a way, that means it's putting it all on the line. You have to do the same if you hope to win. If you go to the lush caves, you'll be able to find the potion of ultimate power that will give you an ultimate form of your own.
Sounds like a plan to me. From day 90 to day 94, I spelunked deep into the lush caves in search of my own ultimate power. The deeper I got into the biome, the deeper my thoughts became. I wonder if Cave and Spyro had to make this same journey in order to gain his power. If that's true, then what if being the strongest means that I'm going to be challenged by the next person who wants to be the strongest in an endless cycle? I want to use my power responsibly, but will it corrupt me over time? A Ninetales interrupted me while I was still pondering the big question.
Ice cream so good. Ninetales.
Just completely forgot what I was thinking about.
Don't forget this. I am the level 100 Ninetales with maximum EVs and IVs. I'll burn you to a crisp like a crispy topping on an ice cream sundae. So good.
I found out very quickly that Ninetales wasn't joking. This was the toughest fight yet, and my dragon scale chestplate wasn't able to help me. I landed blow after blow with my fire-enhanced bubble sword, and with fierce determination, I fought through until the maxed out Ninetales was vanquished. My reward was lying just ahead, the potion that would grant me ultimate power in my fight against Cave and Spyro. From day 95 to day 97, I was resting and conserving my energy, preparing for the battle ahead. As he often did when I needed him most, I saw Jerry the Gelada coming over the horizon and making a beeline for the base. Oh, this is exciting! Jerry the Gelada always gives me cool stuff.
Not this time, Zozo. I just wanted to give you my words of encouragement. You know, it can be hard to stand up for what's right in the world.
Temptations pull us this way and that, and sometimes it seems the easier path is better taken than the right one. It takes someone of true substance to go beyond. Plus Ultra, those are the makings of not just a good man, but a real human being and a real hero.
Wow, you're right, Jerry. That advice was actually more meaningful and more useful than any set of weapons or armor. Thank you.
Oh, right, armor. That reminds me, I also have some armor for you. This is pure netherite, some of the strongest stuff in the world.
I put on the armor and felt as secure as Fort Knox. There's no way Caven could pierce this. On day 98, as I was making the final preparations to lead an assault on my dastardly nemesis, Caven Spyro, I remembered an important message that came to me during one of my meditation sessions. The message said, subscribe to Zozo for more fun, crazy adventures in the world of Minecraft. And I don't know about you folks, but that feels extremely wise to me. On day 99, I approached the all-too-familiar Caven Spyro's Mojo Dojo Casa House. This was going to be the biggest battle that would have ever taken place in the overworld. Or, you know, the end. A true clash of the would-be strongest. Bring it on, Caven Spyro. While you were studying the blade, I was cultivating ultimate power. I walked inside and found him waiting for me in his big, huge ultimate form.
Ha ha ha! You are here at last! This battle will be a battle to the awesome! Whoever is more awesome at the end will win!
I know how a battle to the awesome works, and that's exactly what I'm here for. Down the hatch! I gulped down the potion of power, and thus attained ultimate power! I grew in size and obtained 100 hearts! The burning power within my soul was overflowing, and gave me the ability to use a Wither Skull attack! Say your prayers, Caven Spyro!
Ha ha ha! Who would I pray to? Nobody stands above me!
The battle was on, and I put my Wither Skull to immediate use. But where there's fire, there is the power of frost to contest it. Caven Spyro hit me with a slowing attack from his weapon, but because of my fire aspect enchantment, he took damage as well. We were evenly matched, but I knew how to turn the tide, a power that I hadn't used in a long time. Smash! I broke the ground away and dropped Caven Spyro into a pit. Then I used my Wither Skull attack into the enclosed area. I swooped in and descended with a barrage of slashes from my Bubblewood sword. Then I smashed the ground again and dropped Caven Spyro into an even deeper pit. With another big attack that took all my concentration, I ended this battle for good.
Ah ha ha! Oh, I lost! I guess I'm not the awesome one anymore. Now, here's your time.
You were truly a worthy foe, Caven Spyro. Hey, that rhymed.
Don't make it lame. Ah ha 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 ha.
He poofed into dust, showing me that I truly had won the day. On day 100, I returned to the base, bruised and battered, and just totally exhausted, but alive and victorious. I was eager to tell my friends that I'd defeated that combative, eight-legged weirdo. First, I ran into Jerry the Gelato and told him the good news.
That's what I like to hear. It'll be nice for me and my friends to feel safe in this crazy place at long last.
And after that, I, of course, went to tell my oldest friend, MR.
You did it, Zozo. Well done. You're the hero who saved us all, and you're no longer even slightly a baby man.
I've been waiting to hear that ever since I met you, MR. On day 1, I spawned into the seasonal forest as a rad poison dinosaur. Whoa, I'm awesome and deadly. Nobody is gonna mess with me, even though I've only got 10 hearts. But that turned out to be totally wrong, because as quick as a flash, an intimidating axe-wielding pillager appeared right behind me. He didn't look intimidated by me at all.
Howdy. Haven't seen you around these parts before, kid.
Hey, I'm Zozo. It's, nice to meet ya.
Wish I could say the same. Name's Pillager Pete. The meanest, nastiest son of a gun you'll find around here. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to run, and then I'm gonna destroy you.
But why? I don't even know you.
3, 2, 1.
He didn't hesitate for a second. Pillager Pete attacked, and all I could do was run for the hills. I didn't even have weapons. There was no way I could fight him. But as I ran away, I heard Pillager Pete yell.
Get 'em, boys!
That's when a gang of Vindicators jumped out of the trees and started chasing me. It seemed like this Pillager Pete guy had a whole team working for him. But why were they after me? In the end, I managed to outrun them and hid behind a clutch of trees until they stopped looking. I need to figure out what's going on here, or my poison goose is cooked. On day 2, I felt relieved, having narrowly escaped the scary Pillager Pete and those lethal gangs of Vindicators. But I couldn't afford to worry too much about it. Instead, I needed to get myself a snack or my hunger bar was going to start eating itself. Lucky for me, I was able to find some apples that sated my hunger. Do dinosaurs eat apples? Who knows? I'm not a paleontologist. That's the name for someone who studies dinosaurs, by the way. But before I could even let my dinner settle, one of the Vindicators popped out and prepared to attack me.
Pillager Pete sends his regards, you poison little loser.
With no weapons, I couldn't fight back. I just ran off and avoided him until he disappeared. Then, when the coast was clear, I decided it was a good time to start working on a shelter. I broke down a tree and made a wooden pickaxe. Then, I mined up some stone and used it to build some better tools. A stone pickaxe and a stone sword. And with my spare stone, I built myself a basic one-room base where I could rest for the night. I'll figure out how to defeat all those villains tomorrow. On day 3, I ventured out of the seasonal forest to the inhospitable cold of the Shattered Glacier. Yeesh, I wouldn't want to build a summer home around here. Still, there might at least be some cool loot for the taking. But thanks to my cruddy luck, instead of finding some awesome loot, I found a dangerous zombified piglin.
Hey, I'm the only weird, nasty creature that's allowed in these parts. You're cramping my style. And if you cramp my style, I'll crush you!
He attacked me viciously, causing me to run away. There was no way I could survive a fight with him at my low level of experience. Why is everyone so aggro here? I don't get it. Why is it so hard to make friends? But I may have gotten lucky in the end, because I happened upon a friendly weaponsmith wandering the glacier.
Well, hello there, me good lad. I'm Wally. Wally the Weaponsmith. As the name suggests, I like making weapons. What are you doing out here?
Oh, just exploring. I need to find some cool gear to fight off that nasty Pillager Pete guy.
Wait, you said Pillager Pete? Oh, Sonny, now that's a whole can of worms.
You know about Pillager Pete?
I've known him for years.
Then you better come with me. I need all the help I can get. From day 4 to day 5, I returned to the base with Wally the Weaponsmith. He seemed like a really useful guy to keep around. What kind of room would you like, Wally?
I'm easy, me lad. As long as I've got somewhere warm with a roof over my head, I'll be happy.
I worked on mining some stone and andesite and started putting together a new room with a bed for Wally the Weaponsmith to stay. When I was done making it, he decided to go and relax inside the room and make himself at home. But I wasn't able to relax just yet. A Vindicator assassin suddenly popped out of the trees and fired a blow dart at me.
Hey, how come that didn't work?
I'm a poison dinosaur, man. You can't use poison darts on me.
Oh well, I'll destroy you with a sword then.
Not if I destroy you first. We both drew weapons and I battled bravely until, in the end, the Vindicator assassin was defeated. And even better, I got to pick up his blowgun and the darts. I bet this will be even more lethal in the hands of a poison dinosaur like me. From day 6 to day 8, I went out further into the seasonal forest to gather up some more resources, namely sheep. Wool can be used for so many things after all. I found a gang of sheep and was able to shepherd them back to my base, where I built a basic pen to keep them in. But when I went back out to the seasonal forest to gather even more sheep, I found something I didn't want to find. Or rather, that something found me.
Long time no see, Zozo.
It was Pillager Pete, and he was back with a deadly new surprise for me.
Throwing axes, freshly sharpened for that killer edge. Figured you might be able to help me with some target practice. I'll throw, and you play the target.
Before I had a chance to think up a poisonously clever comeback, he tossed an axe right at me, and I was forced to run for my life. He just followed me, laughing, throwing axe after axe. When one hit me, I lost almost all of my hearts. I needed to get out of here.
Running away already, Zozo? The fun's just getting started for me.
I knew I wasn't strong enough to beat him yet. Instead, I hid behind a tree and dug a hole into the ground, which I hid inside while Pillager Pete ran past me. I stayed in that hole for the rest of the day, wanting to make sure he was gone before I climbed back out and went back to my base. Jeez, what a day! From day 9 to day 10, I woke up to the weaponsmith, brimming with excitement. He had some awesome things to show me.
Zozo, me boy, I wanted to thank you for giving me a place to stay in these difficult times. For starters, I made you a statue. It's a bit of a work in progress, but I think when it's done, it's gonna be amazing.
Wow, thank you, Wally. I can't wait to see it. I followed him outside and saw the start of a statue that Wally had been building. It was an astounding sight to see. I couldn't tell you what it was yet, but I knew it was going to be amazing. How about you, viewer? What do you think it's gonna be? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to see if you get it right. But it wasn't just the statue. Wally had some other good news too.
Oi! Take a look around the base, Zozo. I made a training area for you to work in, and I plan to create a lot of weapons for you too. And I made a furnace to make it easier for me to forge for you. I also made a storage room to keep the weapons and resources.
Wow, Wally, that's amazing! Let's build a campfire tomorrow night to celebrate! From day 11 to day 12, I stood by a campfire outside my base as the evening turned to dusk, hanging out with Wally the weaponsmith. Wally, you told me you knew something about Pillager Pete. I think now is a pretty good time for you to share that information, bud.
Huh, you've got me there, lad. I suppose now is the right time to tell you. I was worried if I told you before, you'd be discouraged.
Tell me, I believe I can take it.
I used to be a bounty hunter. He got so good at it. In fact, he hired a loathsome gang of vindicators to join him on his quests. But they got bored doing jobs for people. They'd take out their targets, they'd take out the people who hired them, and they'd take out anyone who they saw along the way. These days, they mostly just go after people for the challenge. They enjoy it.
And I guess he thinks that the mighty poison dinosaur is a good challenge?
Aye, lad. He'll hunt you down if it's the last thing he does. So you gotta make sure it is the last thing he does.
So no pressure then.
That's why I didn't tell you before.
From day 13 to day 15, finally knowing just how dangerous my opponent was, I decided that I needed to settle some old scores and prove my worth. That's why I was making my way through the Shattered Glacier once again, ready to take on one of my earliest and deadliest enemies, the zombified piglin. I approached with my stone sword at the ready. It was time to finish this.
Oink, oink! Ready to get your poison butt kicked, Dino?
It's Zozo! But yes, I guess I am also a dino. It's confusing, but don't worry about it. Let's just fight! And so, we did! The zombified piglin and I duked it out, and I gave it my all, until in the end, my power and my poison were too much for him! The zombified piglin was defeated, and I had enough XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, faster, and now having 30 whole hearts! But wait, I can feel my power growing! What is this? Boom! I fired a powerful poison blast! Oh yeah! I have a feeling that this new power is gonna be useful! From day 16 to day 19, I descended into the mining cavern I'd worked so hard to find. I'd never been so grateful to be in a deep, dark hole. Okay, iron, 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 where are you? I kept searching until I found a rich vein of iron ore and used my pickaxe to dig the ore out. I collected as much of it as I could and then prepared to leave the cavern. Wait, what's that weird noise? Suddenly, an arrow hit me and I saw a bunch of skeletons walking towards me. Most would have been scared, but not me. I was just excited to try out my new poison blast ability. Time to see how my poison affects bones. I unleashed a few poison blasts and the skeletons immediately started dying. I'd never felt so powerful. Pillager Pete is gonna be in real trouble next time we see each other. I gathered the rest of the iron and returned back. With the Skelly Boys defeated, I went back to my base and gave the iron ore over to the weaponsmith.
Great work, lad! I've tempered you some fine weapons with the furnace. Take this iron sword and iron pickaxe and use them to make yourself even stronger.
Thanks, Weaponsmith Wally. I can't wait. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up to the weaponsmith panicking in my bedroom. Wally, why'd you come in here? Can't you see I'm trying to get my poison dinosaur beauty sleep?
No time, lad. The pillager, he's here, and he looks like he's ready to battle. You need to be ready. He's gonna destroy us all.
Jeez, this is one heck of a wake-up call, Wally. I yanked myself out of my bed and ran out to meet Pillager Pete at the door. He looked every bit as well-trained and lethal as before.
Well, well, well. If it ain't the toxic twerp, I'll need to teach a thing or two.
I'm learning on my own, Pillager, and everything I've learned is going to make me even stronger than you.
I love your confidence, kid. It's more fun to destroy someone when they think they're gonna win.
Without warning, the pillager threw an axe at me, wounding me, but I couldn't afford to back down. I started attacking Wally with my iron sword, striking again and again, slowly wearing him down. In the end, I hit him with a poison blast, and that stopped him in his tracks.
You dirty little snake. You're always gonna rely on your poison to win, aren't you? You little coward. You're not worth my time.
I'll see you next time, Pete. And when I do, only one of us will remain. Pillager Pete disappeared in a puff of smoke, and I was left feeling the thrill of battle and the belief that I truly had it in me to defeat that diabolical pillager. From day 23 to day 26, I decided to craft a brand new weapon for myself, the Poison Sprayer. This would allow me to concentrate my most powerful poisons into an area of effect spray attack. This weapon will no doubt serve me well when Pillager Pete comes knocking. I'll show him who uses poison to win fights, nobody else but me. And if you want to show your friends more of my most epic battles, remember to search ZOZO so you can find more videos. From day 27 to day 31, I went to check on Wally the Weaponsmith and see how his work on the statue was progressing. How goes it, Wally?
Hi there, Zozo. The statue has a new section complete, thanks to my craftsmanship. Want to come see it?
Sure, if you insist. The statue was now of an impressive size, and I still couldn't see what it would become.
For the next part, I need some more framed glass. That could be tricky to come by in the large quantities I need, even for a weaponsmith like me. But I did hear of an abandoned mine in the Sierra Valley, which might have a vein of it.
Say no more. I'm off to collect this special glass so you can make more progress on this glorious statue. I gathered my weapons and departed from the base to begin my quest for the stacks upon stacks of glass needed. Before long, I was deep in the Sierra Valley. The area was crawling with Vindicators, who somehow must have known I'd be searching for resources in the area. Didn't take long for some to spot me and run in.
You made a big mistake, embarrassing Pillager Pete like that. He's gonna want us to destroy you slowly for what you've done.
And you made an even bigger mistake telling me that. The poison sprayer should keep you creeps at bay. And it did. I defeated multiple Vindicators using the poison sprayer, then used my poison blast on another couple and finished them all. From day 32 to day 35, I ventured farther into the Sierra Valley and encountered another vicious Vindicator.
You can't scare me away, Zozo. I'm braver than my buddies.
Rather than facing it head-on, I used a poison dart from my blowgun and then switched to the poison sprayer to inflict the poison status. The poison damage gradually weakened him, especially when I also used the poison blast. The combination of all this was able to finish him off quickly. This valley is more dangerous than I thought. For Vindicators. Oh yeah, I'm the most dangerous thing here. That's when I saw a wandering trader traveling through the area. Traders are known for having all sorts of rare items, so immediately I started to think that I should do business with the guy. I'll bet he even has the framed glass I need for the statue. I approached the trader and asked if I could purchase any of his wares, especially if his inventory happened to include framed glass.
I do have some of those, but I won't just give them away for free.
Okay already, name your price.
I need you to rescue my librarian, who has been kidnapped by the Enderman. I have a couple overdue library books in my inventory, and if the librarian is gone, I'll never be able to return them.
That's it? A rescue mission? Easy peasy poison greasy. I got this. From day 36 to day 39, I traveled to the base of the Enderman, who kidnapped the local librarian. The fate of 1,000 library cards hangs in the balance. I may be the toughest poison dinosaur around, but even I support access to good reading. I looked in through one of the windows of the base and saw a cage with the librarian held captive inside. The Enderman was pacing around the room, looking all kinds of sinister.
Please let me go. Running a well-stocked library is a service to the community, and I can't do it if I'm trapped in here.
That's exactly the point. Without you taking care of the library, I'll be able to keep my overdue library books forever.
You fiend! Other people might want to read those books.
Then they can pry them from my pitch-dark, freakishly long arms.
This Enderman is seriously evil, but it was a good thing that he wasn't very careful. I could see the key to the librarian's cage on the wall. I can't use an area of effect weapon like the poison sprayer because I might poison the librarian, so I'll use a bunch of blow darts on the Enderman first, then use my iron sword to end the fight up close and personal. I prepared some poison darts for the first step of my plan and proceeded to enter the structure. From day 40 to day 43, I snuck up on the Enderman and surprised him with a couple poison sprays.
Who in the heck are you?
Just a poison dinosaur who is here to rescue the librarian. Nothing personal.
It's about to be personal, because I'd rather fight to the bitter end than return any of my library books.
You have some strange priorities, Enderman. But by all means, keep talking about them, so my poison has more time to damage you.
You lousy! I'm going to make you extinct!
The Enderman charged in swinging, but I knew the poison was taking its toll, so I pulled out my iron sword and started swinging right back. We fought in melee, and I quickly gained the upper hand. With a few daring slashes, I overwhelmed the Enderman and finished what the poison started. Bye-bye, Enderman. I guess it was your end you should have been worried about. The fallen Enderman dropped the key, which I used to unlock the librarian's cage.
Thank you for saving me.
I returned to the wandering merchant and told him what I did. He then provided me with the material for the statue. Side quest taken care of. Oh yeah! From day 44 to day 49, I returned to my base with the framed glass that Wally the weaponsmith would need to continue work on the statue. Here you go, Wally. Don't say I never do anything around here.
Why not? I leave the statue building to me. Thanks for doing the tough part.
Trust me, Wally, I'm capable of a whole lot of things. And to prove what I said, I used some of my extra stone, wood, and iron to construct a perimeter wall around the entire base. The base had gotten to be quite large, so it took a while, but the wall was a lot of fun to build and would make a great defensive barrier too. Man, I worked up a real poisonous sweat getting this wall built. Now that it's done, I'd better go see if Wally has made any progress on the statue in the meantime. Back to the area where the statue was being constructed and saw that it was much closer to be completed than last time. That framed glass that I had collected really shined in the proper place.
Zozo, you're staring at the statue again? It's not gonna be finished today, you know.
I know, Wally. I'm just taking a break to admire it. From day 50 to day 53, the perimeter wall I just built around the base was attacked by a gang of Vindicators, and as usual, Pillager Pete was the one sending them.
Tear down that wall! We've got ourselves a catch to bring in.
I was sure they were talking about me, so I drew my blowgun and started to fire poison darts at them from the wall. Here I am. Did you miss me? Because my darts won't miss you. A few of the Vindicators were poisoned by my attack and climbed up the broken wall to fight me more directly. I drew my iron sword and slashed them down. Then I heard Wally crying out in the distance.
Hey, on me! I'm not going anywhere with you by choice!
Oh no, I was wrong! Wally was actually the target they were after this time! The Vindicators had surrounded him, and by the time I got over there, he'd already been kidnapped and taken away!
I order half of you to stay behind and see if you can get that poison dinosaur. He's the real prize.
As Pete escaped, the others tried to take me on, so I switched my poison sprayer and hit them with all of my strongest poisons. Can't catch me, and I'll get Wally back after I whoop all of you with my poison powers. With some poison blasts, I wiped out the remaining Vindicators one by one. The experience of defeating them caused me to level up, obtaining 50 hearts and some radical poison claw attacks. From day 54 to day 57, I repaired my base and built it back better than ever, leveling up the architecture to the standards of my new, bigger, powered-up self. I'm here on my own now without Wally, but I won't be lonely for long. That guy is too handy of a weaponsmith to let him stay captured. I just need some help from one of my other friends. I went to the Sierra Valley where the wandering trader liked to hang out, and as expected, he was there.
Well, if it isn't my favorite customer, what can I do for you today?
Pillager Pete and his force of former bounty hunters took my weaponsmith. I'm looking for any information you might have about where their base is.
Oh, I've got information. A trader keeps track of all sorts of business. Those bounty hunters operate in the far north, where they keep a prison for the most hard-to-catch targets. Back in the day, they would turn them in for money. But now the prison is more like a living trophy cabinet, a place where the creatures they capture are forced to stay forever.
This has to be where they've taken Wally. You said this prison was in the north, but north is a pretty general direction. Where in the north is it?
It's so far north that you'll enter the snowy tundra biome before you find it. Search around in the reaches of that place, and it won't be too much farther.
Well, that's exactly what I needed to know. Thanks, wandering trader.
Wait, aren't you gonna trade me something?
You never named your price. Better luck next time. From day 58 to day 62, I was digging in the mines for diamonds so that I could soup up my gear for the journey north. Iron rusts, but diamonds are forever. In the depths of the cavern, I ran into a few ghasts that weren't too happy to see a poisoned dinosaur making moves in their territory. Too bad for them that my poison claws were so strong that I could take each one down in a single blow. Guess that's the ghast we'll see of those guys. With those nuisances out of the way, I was free to keep mining until I struck diamond. I grabbed all that I could carry and brought it to the crafting table where I fashioned some brand new diamond gear. First, a diamond pickaxe, and then a diamond sword. The journey north will be much less treacherous with these. From day 63 to day 66, I took a moment to observe the half-complete statue that Wally the weaponsmith hadn't yet completed. If he were here, Wally would probably be working on this right now. I need to get him back so he can complete it. Also, under my tough and cool exterior, I really did miss my friend and hoped that I would be able to find him and save him from Pillager Pete. And if you hope to find more of my videos, you should subscribe to the channel so that all my new uploads will appear right there on your YouTube feed. From day 67 to day 70, I had been traveling for a while before I reached the snowy tundra. This is it, the far north. I made it. Nothing is going to keep me from saving Wally. I could see the old bounty hunter prison standing tall among the slopes. It was guarded by a patrol of Vindicators, but I wouldn't let them stop me from breaking in. I fired my poison darts at the Vindicators to draw their attention towards me, inflicting the poison status condition in the process.
Ah, the poison dinosaurs come all the way to the far north. Let's send them packing.
I don't think so. I'm here to check in and save my friend. I drew my diamond sword and hacked and slashed straight through all the approaching Vindicators. The way forward was now totally clear for me to enter into the prison and find Wally the weaponsmith. From day 71 to day 74, I was traversing the many treacherous floors of the bounty hunter prison. I was searching for Wally, but I couldn't see any sign of him. All of the prison cells I did see were empty, and on one of them, the bars were broken off. I wonder who was in there.
The same menace who is now out here.
I turned around to see a zombified piglin running towards me down the hallway.
I was captured by Pillager Pete, but now I enjoy living at this prison because I get to eat all the other prisoners.
You eat the prisoners? That's nasty! But you didn't need a weaponsmith, did you?
No. Why? Do you know one?
You know what? Forget I mentioned it. Also, take this! I poison blasted the zombified piglin. He aggressively responded with brutal melee attacks. Instead of using my diamond sword, I used my poison claws to give the zombified piglin a poison status effect and deal enough regular damage to take him out. He dropped a map that revealed the location of Wally's cell. On my way down to it, I discovered a treasure chest, which I opened. Inside was a full set of diamond armor, most likely confiscated from a former prisoner. I equipped the armor and kept on moving. From day 75 to day 78, I reached the prison cell where Wally was being held. Wally, you look like you've had better days.
Zozo, never expected to see you again, but here you are to bust me out of the prison.
Wally, listen, I realized something while I was on my journey to the far north. Even though people like Pillager Pete have made life difficult for me, I haven't given up on making friends. I might be strong now, but it takes real strength to let your guard down around other people.
That's a really mature thing for you to say, Zozo. I appreciate it. Now let's get out of here.
I mined through the bars of the prison cell with my diamond pickaxe, and the two of us went in search of the exit. Unfortunately, we were intercepted along the way by Pillager Pete.
What's this? Are we gonna start a new hunt? I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Not as much as I am, Pete. I'm going to defeat you. I waved Wally on and confronted Pillager Pete myself. I'd catch up with my best friend later. For now, it was payback time. I attacked with my poison claws while Pillager Pete struck with his weapon. Both of us were losing health fast, but if I could poison him, I'd be able to swing the battle in my favor, which did the trick. Ha! You're poisoned! This is my win, Pete.
That's what you think.
From day 79 to day 84, Pillager Pete absorbed my poison and proceeded to grow larger and much stronger.
I warned you against using poison. If you introduce a sneaky tactic to the game, then it's gonna be used against you. I'll poison Pete now. Infinitely more toxic than my original form. Your status effects won't be able to bring me down now.
Wait, that means you're immune to poison?
That's right. I had to adapt to all kinds of strange targets during my bounty hunter days, and you've been on my list long enough for me to become your worst nightmare. Go ahead and run. I'll give you a head start because it's more fun that way.
I ran away from the prison and down the snowy tundra, knowing that I couldn't beat him in my current state. I may have rescued Wally, but the poisonous Pillager Pete was still coming for me, and I needed a new plan. From day 85 to day 89, I safely returned to base after traveling for who knows how long. It seemed that Pete's head start was still in effect, so I went to Wally for some advice on how to arm myself against the former bounty hunter's new poison-immune form.
Sounds like what you need is a weapon enchantment for your diamond sword. I've got you covered with this fire aspect enchantment that should enhance the damage you deal to him. I'll keep thinking while I complete my work on the statue. For now, you should use the enchantment.
Thanks, Wally. I'll keep on thinking about how to win as well. This works better if we both put our heads together. I went to the anvil and applied the fire aspect enchantment to my diamond sword. Now I could inflict a burn on Pillager Pete. But I knew that alone wouldn't be enough to beat him, so I decided to go back to Wally and see if he had more ideas. I made my way back to the statue area to find it complete. An incredible statue of a poison flask. And more than just my poison, but putting it on display and acknowledging it really reminded me of how far I'd come in my poison dinosaur journey.
Zozo, I came up with another idea. You should head back to the Sierra Valley and find the potion of power that the Enderman once hoarded to himself.
You're full of great ideas, Wally. It's one of the many reasons we're friends. From day 90 to day 94, I set out for the Enderman's base and found out the Vindicators were there already. They must be looking for the potion of power.
Split up and search the place. The Enderman may have outwitted us long ago, but we can still reclaim his stuff now for the boss, including the potion of power.
I knew it! The Vindicators all noticed me and began to attack. But unlike their boss, these guys weren't immune to my poison. I hit them with poison blasts, poison darts, and my poison sprayer until all of them were taken out. I searched through the base until I found a chest containing the fabled potion of power. I better save this for a key moment. With my enchanted sword and the potion of power in my inventory, there was only one more kind of gear I needed in order to have my showdown with Pete. Luckily, I knew exactly the man who could get me special items. From day 95 to day 97, I invited the wandering trader to my base and gave him a bunch of spare materials in exchange for the best suit of armor that he had in his inventory.
Here you go, Zozo. A full set of custom netherite armor, perfectly sized for a poison dinosaur.
Excellent! I'm going to try it on! I equipped the netherite armor, and now I had all the right stuff I needed to be a match for Pillager Pete in his positively perilous Poison Pete form. I'm going to put Pete in his place.
Good luck out there, Zozo. You'll always be my favorite customer.
On day 98, I kept all of my best gear close by as I remembered all the tough times I went through to get here. I learned so many new ways to use my poisonous power, but I also built things and made friends. Life can be really fun, even if there's a lot of difficult moments in it. And some of the most fun that we can have together is on many more adventures through the overworld. After this, search for more Zozo videos so that you can keep on having fun, and remember to leave a comment about what you want to see next. On day 99, I went back to the snowy tundra to give Pillager Pete the fight of his life. I was decked out in my netherite armor, holding my diamond sword enchanted with the fire aspect, and ready to drink the potion of power when the fight began. I'm here, Pete. Let's end this little game. Pillager Pete stepped out in his adapted form, looking as vicious as ever.
You didn't want to run anymore? Instead, you came straight to me. I'll mess you up so bad, you'll wish you did run away.
That's the thing, Pete. I'll never wish I ran away from this fight, because I'm not going to live my life in fear of bad people. I'm going to beat you and live the rest of it with the good people I chose to call my friends.
Don't you see? There's always some new enemy out there, some new challenges to overcome. Living an easy life? That's nothing to aspire to.
It's everything to aspire to, and whatever comes my way, I'll keep fighting for that easy life, by any means necessary. He charged forward and hit me, but my netherite armor reduced the damage of his hits enough that I could strike back on equal footing. I swung my fire aspect sword and dealt a lot of damage, both regular and fire. We kept on trading blows, with my powerful form and gear keeping me in the fight. Pillager Pete had hunted me across the overworld for a long time, but today, he didn't stand a chance. With my poison fireball, I destroyed him so he would never hunt down anyone again. On day 100, I was living the easy life I had dreamed of back at the base with the others. The trouble with Pillager Pete was done, and for now, I could keep poison to myself. Wally decided to share some words of wisdom with me since today was our first real day of freedom.
Sometimes, the best weapon we have when the going gets tough is a good attitude.
I couldn't agree more, buddy. there we were, friends together, united against a harsh and difficult world that was looking a little bit better every day. On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a devil dragon! A devil dragon in the Badlands? This is so rad that I don't even mind that I'm a baby! I feel like I should start a rock band or something! But before I could come up with a cool name for my new rock band, something huge and dark rose out of the ground in front of me. It was an Endergast! Oh my goodness! I've never seen anything like you before!
Welcome to my domain, Devil Dragon. I am Lord Endergast, the most powerful being in the overworld.
Wow! It's an honor to meet you, your lordship. Is there anything I can do for you?
Yes, you can perish!
Lord Endergast blew a huge fireball at me, which I only narrowly dodged, destroying the summoning circle next to me. Why did you do that? I was so polite to you.
I don't admire politeness. I admire survival. That's why I'm playing the 100 Days game. And if you figure out how to play, you may just be able to survive this.
How can I play a game if I don't even know the rules? But he didn't answer me. He just breathed another fireball at me, and all I could do was turn and fly away. The 100 Days game? I guess I've got to find out what it is if I want to survive. On day 2, I finally stopped after hours of flying through the Badlands, trying to escape the wrath of the nasty Lord Endergast. I can't afford to be reckless against a villain as powerful as him just yet. I only have 10 hearts. If a battle goes bad, I won't be able to survive. But my hearts weren't the only issue. My hunger meter was almost dangerously low. I needed to get my hands on some food soon, or I'd be in real trouble. I searched around the Badlands, which didn't have that much vegetation. I was so relieved when I happened upon a lone apple tree that I almost cried. Sweet, crunchy, delicious, apple-y goodness! Just what the doctor ordered. I knocked down the tree and started eating the apples that it dropped until I started hearing a rustling noise that sent a chill down my spine. I looked up and saw an ender creeper walking towards me.
Don't be a spoil sport, Devil Dragon. My lord and master wants to play a game with you, but you've got no hope of winning if you don't keep your wits about you.
But I don't want to play this game. Let's just talk, okay? And my name isn't Devil Dragon, it's Zozo. Boom! Before he could say anything else, he detonated, leaving a big hole in the ground and knocking out a huge number of my hearts. Oh no, I don't have any healing items. There's no way I could survive another attack like that. That's when my savior arrived. A fire guardian appeared in front of me. For a second, I was worried he'd attacked me, and then he spoke.
You are the Endergast's latest victim. It may feel hopeless, Devil Dragon, but with our help, it is not. Come with me!
So you're on my side?
If there are sides, yes. The only sides I see are the survivors and the condemned. Follow me!
And so I did! On day 3, I followed the fire guardian across the Badlands as night fell around us. It felt like the enemies coming after me could attack at any time.
What is your name, Devil Dragon?
I'm Zozo. I've only been here for 3 days. I don't understand why so many people are after me.
It's because that monstrous Endergast marked you. To be marked means that monsters and beasts will seek you out. They will hunt you, and they will try to destroy you.
But why? I didn't do anything.
Perhaps he senses potential in you. Potential for fun. It's all a game to him. But I know a being that might be able to help and advise you.
Oh yeah? Who's that?
The game's last survivor.
The fire guardian led me to a campfire where a soul blaze was waiting. He sent me over to speak to the supposed survivor of the Endergast's game.
So, you're the new one he picked. My commiserations. You're in for a horrific 100 days.
But why? What exactly is the 100 Days game, and how did you survive it?
It's a grand hunt. Over 100 days, he'll send everything after you, every challenge and monster at his disposal, of which there are many. You will be pushed to the limit, and you will only have 2 choices, to hide or fight back.
I'll fight back! You can't hide from bullies like the Endergast. He'll never give up, so neither will I!
There may be hope for you yet. Make a base, find weapons, make allies, keep fighting, because if you don't, there'll be no hope for you at all.
He gave me a healing potion that I took for my Ender Creeper injuries and went off on my way. From day 4 to day 5, I started following the Soul Blaze's advice. With the Fire Guardian with me as my guide, I went further out into the Badlands to make myself a base.
Take these tools, Zozo. It will make your mission much easier. You can always make better ones later.
The Fire Guardian gave me a stone sword and a set of stone tools, which I used to start mining stone and cutting down trees. I soon had enough to start building myself a base. It was basic at first, just 2 rooms with some beds, one for me and one for the Fire Guardian. I hope these sheets are fireproof. Once the building was done, I stepped back to look at my hard work. It wasn't much, but it was mine, and I was proud of it. I didn't get to enjoy the moment forever though, as an ender blaze floated towards me, ready to attack. This really is a trial by ender fire. It wasn't easy, but with my stone sword, I was eventually able to defeat the ender blaze and destroy it. And when I did, I got enough XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, gaining 30 hearts, and big, awesome dragon claws. Looks like I really am playing the game now. From day 6 to day 8, I was wandering through a new biome, the giant taiga, which was full of towering trees and lush greenery. A devil dragon looks kind of out of place here, but I still enjoy the scenery. I wonder if I can find anything out here that'll help me survive the 100 days and fight back against the Endergast. I was so lost in thought that I didn't notice an Enderman sneaking up on me. But when I noticed him, I immediately deployed my claws and started attacking him. He was a formidable foe, but my claws helped me gain victory in the end. That's right, I'd ended the Enderman.
That was amazing, kid.
Who's that? I turned and saw an evoker emerging from the tree line.
I've been hunting and tracking that Enderman for weeks, and you took him out just like that. It was amazing.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the kind words. It's been kind of a rough week.
Tell you what, wanna come help me take out another monster? I'll make it worth your while.
Sure, it couldn't hurt. I mean, maybe it could, but I'm always happy to help. From day 9 to day 10, I followed the evoker through the giant taiga until we came upon a deeper, darker part of the forest. What exactly do you want me to take on out here, Mr. Evoker?
Truth be told, I need your help taking on a ghast.
Oh no, it isn't an Endergast, is it?
Endergast? No way. I've never even heard of that. This is just a regular ghast, but that doesn't mean it's not extremely dangerous.
Well then, I guess I'll make sure to proceed with caution. And even that caution didn't do me much good. The power of the gas fireballs repelled me quickly. I had to escape just to survive, then went back to my new friend, the evoker, with my dragon tail between my legs.
It's okay, my friend. Don't beat yourself up. How about we write this one off and come back to take him on another day?
Thanks for your patience, Mr. Evoker. Say, why don't you come back and stay with me at my base? I really need some people on my side right now.
I'll never turn down a free room. Lead the way, Dragon Boy.
From day 11 to day 12, we made it back to my base, and I immediately started working on a room where the evoker could stay. It was super easy, and before long, he had a brand new place to stay right next to my room. When I was done, he came up to talk to me about something.
Hey there, Zozo. I really appreciate you making me a room, and I wanted to show my gratitude. I hope you don't mind, but while you were working, I took the liberty of making a few upgrades around the place. Come check them out.
I was super impressed. While I'd been busy, the evoker had set up a brand new storage room where I could keep all my gear and resources, as well as a furnace ready to craft some new equipment. That's so kind of you, evoker.
Ah, don't mention it. It's the least I could do. Anything else you need? Don't hesitate to ask.
Well, to tell the truth, I could use some advice. I need to survive the Endergast's 100-day-long hunt.
I don't know much about this Endergast fella, but I've been a hunter myself. Let me tell you, a bad hunter will try to make the whole world play by his rules, but a great hunter will know how to use the world around him to his advantage. See what I mean?
It was great advice, and I immediately started to act on it. I headed into a nearby cavern to seek out some iron ore and brought it back to my base. With the furnace, I turned the ore into iron ingots and then crafted a new iron pickaxe and matching sword for myself. The evoker was right. I could use the world around me to my advantage. That was how I could survive and beat the Endergast at his own game. In my search for more resources, I also made a few extra improvements to my base. I herded a flock of nearby sheep into the area and set up a nice spacious pen to keep them secure. Things looked to be on the up. From day 13 to day 15, I decided to ask my guide, the Fire Guardian, for some advice on growing stronger so I could survive the rest of the hunt.
Taking on the Endergast won't be easy, Zozo, but smaller challenges can prepare us for the larger ones ahead. I've heard some of his henchmen are stalking the giant tiger. If you're using the world around you, then use them to hone your fighting skills.
So, I set off on my new quest to take down some of the Endergast minions. Reaching the giant taiga, I realized that this wasn't going to be as easy as I first thought, because I was outnumbered. A swarm of ender creepers were roaming around, and I'd already tangled with one of those nasty explosive mobs. But I remembered the advice from the evoker: use the world to my advantage. The giant taiga was filled with plenty of vegetation, which I could use as cover to sneak up and get the drop on them. I jumped from the trees and destroyed one on the spot.
Hey, where the heck did he come from?
With a swing of my sword, I dealt some damage, then ducked back behind the trees.
Hey, where the heck did he disappear to?
They searched for me, but only found defeat. When the last one remained, he puffed and boom! The ender creeper detonated. I emerged victorious, and one even dropped a handy item, a health potion. Drinking it, I suddenly got much stronger. I had now gone up to 60 hearts and even learned a new ability, a flame breath attack. Oh, now that's perfect for a devil dragon like me. Now I'm cooking with fire. From day 16 to day 19, I continued exploring the world and looking for some more of the Endergast henchmen to take down. I was feeling super confident about my chances after my victory and looking for my next big challenge. I stumbled into a new biome, the Crimson Forest. This place was crazy creepy. As I explored, I came across an old book that seemed to have been left by someone that the Endergast had marked before. If you are reading this, then beware. The one hunting you has no rules, no boundaries. He doesn't flinch at his adversaries. He fears nothing. That's why he does this. He hunts to feel alive and will do anything to catch his prey. Oh, I'd better watch out. The Endergast seems to have some real issues. I had been so distracted by reading the book that I almost didn't notice a familiar hissing sneaking up behind me.
There's the devil dragon that took out our buddies. Get this fool, boys.
More ender creepers! I was nearly caught off guard, but stood my ground and fought them off. That was a close one. Lucky I noticed them, or I could have been blown to smithereens. From day 20 to day 22, after my run-in with that last group of ender creepers, I decided it would be best to make sure I was better protected against oncoming damage. So I headed back to the mines and gathered up some more iron ore, turning it into ingots and then smelting those into a shiny new iron chestplate. With all this added armor and still feeling confident after my recent wins, I thought it was about time I got some more experience and headed back to take care of that ghast that the evoker had been hunting when we met a few days earlier. This ought to be a good warm-up for taking on the Endergast. Sneaking up like I had done before, I gave the ghast a taste of his own medicine and hurled flames its way. I was able to deal a lot of damage, destroying it on the spot. But I didn't get to enjoy the victory for long.
Do you really think you'll be able to best me so easily?
It was the Endergast. Where had he come from?
You really ought to be more careful with how much attention you draw to yourself. I was once like you know. Weak, inexperienced. Do you think anyone made it easy for me? Of course not. I had to prove myself as the greatest hunter of all time. And I'm not about to let an upstart like you undermine me.
Before I had a chance to fight back, the Endergast released a barrage of fireballs. I knew I wasn't going to win this fight. I had no choice but to take cover and retreat to safety. From day 23 to day 26, I managed to make it back to my base, but was careful to make sure I wasn't followed. Lord Endergast had already tracked me down once. I needed to be careful he didn't discover where I'd set up my base. I tried not to feel too defeated. It was still early in the 100-day challenge, and I just needed to keep challenging myself to eventually beat him. Plus, I'd already bested that regular ghast, which the evoker was really impressed to hear about.
That's great. Good going, Dragon Boy. We'll make a world-class hunter out of you yet.
Speaking of which, I decided it was time to get in some more practice of using the world around me to improve my chances of survival. I went off for another jaunt into the mines and gathered up the last of the iron ore I could find. I had plenty to make enough ingots to craft myself an iron helmet and a pair of iron boots. I had a much better shot at resisting incoming attacks. Now I was covered in a full set of armor.
Looking good, Zozo. I had a similar idea. I've been working on protecting the base. Check out our brand new perimeter wall.
The place looked great. Now I would rest easy knowing the base would be defended even while I was away. Plus, it provided added safety so I could survive for the full 100 days. From day 27 to day 31, I decided it was about time I tried to challenge myself again. If I was going to use my environments to my advantage, then I couldn't limit myself to just the more familiar biomes I had visited. So I headed back towards the Crimson Forest. It looked like this place would be fairly easy to hide in. There wasn't a lot of light, and plenty of trees I could hide behind. Still, I needed some practice and finding good spots in the Crimson Forest to hide, because an iron golem was able to spot me with ease.
Hey, you know I can see you, right?
Ah, darn. I'm just trying to figure out how to survive against the Endergast.
Ah, you're that devil dragon that took out his ender creepers. I gotta hand it to you. This place has been nice and quiet since you took care of those guys. But I expect they'll start to muscle in again soon.
Why don't you come back to my base with me? That way, you'll be out of harm's way.
Say, thanks. You're all right, Mr. Devil Dragon.
Together, the Iron Golem and I headed back to base. I decided I would spruce the place up a little, so I gathered up some wool from the sheep and turned that into some fashionable decorative banners. Now we were surviving in style.
Zozo, come quick. The Endergast minions are out looking for those that have been marked.
Wait, they aren't here though. They haven't found me yet.
No, not you. The Soul Blaze. He was the last one to be marked, and he needs our help.
From day 32 to day 35, we rushed back through the Badlands to where the Fire Guardian had introduced me to the Soul Blaze. I couldn't let the Endergast get to him. He'd helped me start out on my journey.
Quick, Zozo, I see commotion up ahead.
A huge swarm of Ender Creepers were ganging up on the Soul Blaze, blocking us from getting to him.
So, the Endergast has finally found me after all this time. Couldn't run forever, I suppose.
The Ender Creepers were closing in, hissing and getting ready to explode. Before I could get close enough, there was an almighty boom, and many of them detonated, taking the Soul Blaze with them. No!
Hey, it's the other marked one, the Devil Dragon. Get him, fellas!
I had to fight back and managed to fend off the few Ender Creepers that were still left standing. But I was too late to save my friend, the Soul Blaze. From day 36 to day 39, I had to go and be on my own for a while. I was starting to worry that I wouldn't see this 100-day challenge through to the end. And even if I did, it seemed that the Endergast wasn't one to admit defeat so easily. Would this be my life now? Spending every day constantly on the run until Ender Creepers finally caught me? My thoughts were interrupted by the Hoglin.
Oi, why the long face?
Huh? It's nothing. Just thinking about some stuff.
Well, you got a minute to spare? A mate Blaze took my guitar, and I can't get it back.
Sure, but you really should say please, you know. I tried to keep my focus on the task at hand. I still had plenty of days to get through, and if I was ever going to outsmart a hunter as ruthless and unruly as the Endergast, then I needed to become a better hunter myself. I tracked down the mutant Blaze. Attacking it with fire breath probably wasn't going to end well, so instead, I snuck up a nearby hill to get the high ground, then dropped towards the mutant Blaze, scratching it up with my dragon claws and finishing it off with my sword. I gathered up the Hoglin's guitar, and he seemed to be apologetically grateful.
Cheers for your help there. Sorry I was so rude before. This guitar is all I've got to help me survive. I don't know what I'd do without it.
You're right. That's given me a fresh perspective on things. I need to hold on to what I've still got as tight as I can. That way, I'll survive the Endergast and his unfair hunt. From day 40 to day 43, I headed back to base and back to my friends. They had helped me make it this far into the 100 days, so I needed to make sure I took care of them as much as they looked out for me.
Welcome back, Zozo. I hope you're feeling better after some time alone.
I am a little, but I think I'll get by with a little help from my friends.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, as we are due to have more joining us soon. I hope you don't object, but without the guidance of the Soul Blaze, my fellow Fire Guardians need a refuge, so I've urged them to come here.
Of course, the more the merrier. Say, have you been decorating in here?
Just a few small improvements.
The Fire Guardian had really been helping bring the place together with some brand new couches and bookshelves. And not a moment too soon either, seeing as his Fire Guardian buddies soon started showing up. After I had helped to greet them, the Iron Golem came up to me.
Hey, Mr. Devil Dragon.
You can call me Zozo, you know.
My bad. I've got a favor to ask. Would you go to my old place and pick up my emerald stash? I left it behind by mistake, and I'm worried I'll get seen by one of the Endergast cronies if I head back on my own.
No problem. Leave it to me. From day 44 to day 49, I ventured back to the Crimson Forest to track down the Iron Golem's emerald stash. It wasn't exactly the most challenging task I'd faced, but at least I was helping out my friends. That was the key to my survival, working together. Unfortunately, I wasn't the only one who'd had that idea. The Endergast came bursting out of the shadows towards me, accompanied by his toughest stooge yet, a mutant wither skeleton.
Found you again, and you aren't going to be getting away so easily this time.
You're the one who's found me so many times, but failed to stop me. Face it, you're only trying to prove what a scary hunter you are, because in reality, you're just not that good at it.
I'm an exceptional hunter, and you want to know why? Fear! If you make the creatures of this world fear you, then they'll bend to your whims. For example, let me introduce you to my friend here.
Not tough enough to take me on yourself?
Oh, you naive fool! You think you can goad me? This is all part of my game, making you grow confident, even arrogant, all so I can make you realize how futile your efforts were when I finally beat you!
With that, he slunk back into the shadows as his mutant wither skeleton started coming towards me, ready to attack. I drew my sword and leapt into battle! From day 50 to day 53, I crossed swords with the fearsome mutant wither skeleton. This was by far my toughest fight yet. With the nasty mob lacked in speed, it more than made up for in strength. I had to make sure to put some cover between me and it when the creature geared up for another heavy attack.
Oh, the little devil dragon only made it halfway. Looks like you won't be seeing day 100.
That's what you think!
Huh? Where did that come from?
I remembered to use my environment to my advantage. While I was behind cover and the mutant wither skeleton was talking, I quietly slipped around to some cover behind him. Now he was looking in the wrong place, and it meant I could get the drop on him. I launched a flame breath attack and struck the mutant wither skeleton with my flames, then charged in to deliver the final blow with my sword. He was down, defeated, but not destroyed yet.
You're tougher than I thought.
Tell me how I can defeat the Endergast.
Defeat him? You'll have to find him first. He resides in the Dover Mountains, surrounded by his most loyal and powerful hunters. You might as well take these.
As he died, the mutant wither skeleton passed me a handful of mystical diamonds. These would come in handy later, I thought, so I held on to them. From day 54 to day 57, I continued to search around the Crimson Forest and eventually found the Iron Golem's emerald stash. Unfortunately, there was a problem. A mutant husk had picked it up. So I hid and waited for it to drift past me, then leapt out, landing a powerful series of claw attacks and dealt with it in no time. I headed back to my base with the emerald stash and was finally able to return it to my friend, the Iron Golem.
Thanks, Zozo. In exchange for this favor, I'll tell you an important secret.
A secret? What do you mean?
The devil dragons! Long ago, they were considered to be the most prized prey to an aspiring hunter wanted to prove themselves. But they were so rare that hardly anyone could catch them. Only one appeared every few hundred years.
That must be why the Endergast is so interested in me. From day 58 to day 62, I worked on making some improvements to the sheep pen, giving those woolly guys a lot more space to roam around freely. But after I had done that, I remembered about those mystical diamonds I had taken from the mutant wither skeleton. I didn't have enough to craft weapons with, but I bet that if I could find some additional diamonds, I could make something pretty special with these. So that's what I did. I ventured down into the mines, and sure enough, there, embedded in the stony walls, were some shiny, untouched diamonds. I knocked them free with my pickaxe and took them back to my base. There, I combined them with the mystical diamonds to create a brand new diamond sword and pickaxe to match. They were both imbued with the magic of the mystical diamonds. It was then that the Fire Guardian came to tell me about some of the new improvements he had been making to the base while I'd been busy.
Take a look over here. I've made the living area more comfortable to accommodate everyone that's staying here at the base. And there's even a fireplace. My fellow Fire Guardians were feeling a little aimless without some fire to guard.
Wow, these are some impressive upgrades. From day 63 to day 66, I decided to have a chat with my old pal, the Evoker. Since he was a more accomplished hunter, I figured he might know something about the mountains where the Endergast's base supposedly was.
Smart call asking me. That's the mark of a hunter who's willing to learn from the experience of others. Mountains, eh? Not the nicest of places. Shame that you'll have to head over there. If you head due west from here, you'll find the path there. But watch your footing. It's a treacherous biome to be in.
I set off in the direction that the Evoker had pointed me in, and before long, I found myself in the mountains. This place looked pretty desolate, even more than the Badlands or the Crimson Forest. Something about all those stony spires made it seem unforgiving. I suddenly got startled and instantly turned to face what I thought was my attacker. I was prepared to face off against some of the toughest mobs working for the Endergast, and when I saw a mutant hoglin, I thought he was after me.
Hey, take it easy, bro.
Wait, you're not here to attack me for the Endergast?
What, that jerk? No way, bro.
I'm a hunter. I've been on the trail of a wild blue manticore, a fascinating but aggressive beast. You look like an aspiring hunter too. Fancy coming along to show me what you got?
Okay, let's go. But we should tread quietly. Don't want to attract too much attention.
Ah, good call. I can tell you've done this before.
From day 67 to day 70, I ventured further into the unfamiliar terrain of the mountains. The mutant Hoglin Hunter was a pretty good tracker and showed me some of the tracks that the blue manticore had left. I took the opportunity to get familiar with this new biome. After all, if the Endergast was hiding somewhere here, I'd need to make sure I could use the mountains to my advantage. Before long, we had found the blue manticore's lair. I took the lead, making sure I was staying nice and stealthy. Once I was at the edge of the cave, I used my flame breath to smoke out the blue manticore into the open. I leapt into action, swiping my claws at the surprised creature. The blue manticore's hide was tough to pierce with my dragon claws, but not enough for my diamond sword. My blade cut through the armored hide with ease, and I felled the beast at last.
That was some nice hunting there, Zozo. Well, happy trails. Maybe I'll see you around sometime, bro.
Huh, what an odd dude. From day 71 to day 74, I continued my exploration of the mountains, trying to figure out where the Endergast had hidden his base. This was a far more dangerous biome than the others I had visited. In some of the more elevated parts, one wrong step could lead to a nasty fall. While carefully navigating a mountain, I was sure that I saw a rock formation that seemed to spell out words. It read, "If you're enjoying this video, then be sure to watch more by searching for Zozo. Huh, must be a trick of light. Or maybe this altitude is making me lightheaded. I carefully skidded down to the foot of the mountain, only to see a familiar, frightening face waiting for me. It was the dreaded Lord Endergast.
What do you think you're doing here? These mountains are my territory. How dare you? You think you can track me here to my mountains and expect to make it out alive?
Wow, he's really mad. I didn't expect him to be so precious about the mountains. I quickly dodged out of the path of an oncoming fireball and grabbed my sword. The diamond blade caught the Endergast by surprise, and for a moment, I thought I might be able to actually get the upper hand on him. But he was still too strong, fending me off with ease as he regained his composure. I had to get out of there, and fast. It was time for another timely retreat back to the base. From day 75 to day 78, I went back to my base and sat down in my room for a bit. I wasn't feeling too good about running away from the Endergast again. I knew it was the smartest thing I could have done in the situation, otherwise I would have been done for. But it still stung a little, knowing I hadn't beaten him.
Hey, you Zozo, don't let it get you down. Maybe seeing our brand new watchtower will lift your spirits.
While I was gone, the Iron Golem had been working on adding a watchtower to the base so we could see threats coming from afar. I had to admit, climbing up to the top, that the view really put a smile on my face, but not as much as what happened next.
Zozo, I've been looking for you. My fellow Fire Guardians and I have been working on a thank you gift for you. Here, drink this potion.
I took the magical upgrade potion and suddenly felt myself getting much stronger. Wow, I now had a whole 100 hearts. And to make things even better, I had improved my fireball attack into a mighty dragon fireball attack. Now I was really living up to my devil dragon name. From day 79 to day 84, feeling more confident and much more powerful, I decided to head back towards the mountains to confront the Endergast. But when I made it back to the spot where we had last clashed, he was nowhere to be found. I did have a run-in with a fire ogre. There were so many different mobs in the mountains that this biome was almost like a whole other world. I quickly learned that fire ogres were resistant to my dragon fireball attack, but it didn't fare as well against my sword and the forces of gravity. After I defeated the fire ogre, I searched their lair for any interesting loot and stumbled upon an imprisoned black kitty.
Oh, thank you. That horrid ogre wanted to eat me. Please get me out of here, and I'll show you where they keep their most prized possession.
I helped out the kitty, and to say thank you, she gave me a diamond helmet from the ogre's private treasure stash. Wow, this is great! I've been in need of a new helmet. From day 85 to day 89, I was heading back when, to my horror, I was met with the awful sight of a group of ender creepers attacking my base. Hey, get the heck out of here! Scram!
Look out, boys! It's the Devil Dragon!
I rushed after them, quickly checking to see if my friends were okay. To my relief, nobody was seriously injured, although our poor base had seen better days. I remembered my experiences as a hunter and followed the trail of the Ender Creepers. I made sure to use all of my environment to my advantage, including asking a passing Darkness Ostrich if he'd seen those creepers.
Yeah, you just missed them. They were heading that way. Take them out. Last thing we want is Endergas goons ramming these badlands.
I caught up with the Ender Creepers and wasted no time launching a huge dragon fireball attack. But then, it hit me. They were heading back towards the mountains. I could use this to my advantage too. These Ender Creepers could lead me to the Endergas base. From day 90 to day 94, I kept up with the Ender Creepers as they fled back to their boss, the Endergast. Sure enough, keeping on their trail led me right to the Endergast hidden base in the heart of the mountains. I leapt in to finish off the last of the Ghast Creeper cronies. I had to make sure they didn't reveal my base's location. But before I could even think about what to do next, a huge two-headed nether ogre came stomping out of the base towards me.
So you're the Devil Dragon? You don't look so tough. The boss says it's time to end this game. For good.
This two-headed nether ogre looked like he wouldn't go down easy. I was in for my toughest fight yet. From day 95 to day 97, I clashed with the two-headed nether ogre. It wasn't an easy fight at all. The ogre was one tough customer. He swung at me, and I had to duck out of the way. Even with my new helmet, he could have knocked my block off. I blasted him with a dragon fireball attack and followed it up with relentless slashes of my sword. There was no way to use my surroundings to help. I just had to keep up the attack. And luckily, it finally seemed to work. A well-timed fireball knocked the two-headed nether ogre off his feet, and he came toppling over with a loud thud.
Ah, dang it! The boss is gonna be so angry with me.
Why even work for an Endergast in the first place? You're a tough guy. I'm sure even you can't possibly be scared of him.
I got no choice. I was mocked once in his 100 days hunting game. I lasted as long as I could, but he caught up to me in the end. Because I'd impressed him, he forced me to be his henchman for 100 years.
So he could trap me like that too. Man, this guy really is a jerk.
You said it, pal.
With that, the two-headed nether ogre passed on. I had to double back to my base as quick as possible and make sure everything was okay. On day 98, I made the journey back to my base and assessed some of the damage the Ender Creepers had left in their attack. Fortunately, it wasn't too bad all things considered. Most of the damage was taken by the perimeter wall, and that's what it was there for. Look guys, I need to stop the Endergast once and for all. If I don't act now, then there's a chance he won't ever let me go. You've all helped me get this far, so thank you very much. First, the Fire Guardian came to say goodbye.
The Fire Guardians have your back, Zozo. We will defend all you've built here while you go forth. The Soul Blaze would be proud of you.
Then, the Iron Golem.
Well, Mr. Devil Dragon, you gave me a place to stay out of harm's way, and I'm grateful for that. That's way nicer than the Endergast or his cronies have ever been to me. So I say, go kick their butts.
And finally, the Evoker.
You've become a mighty fine hunter, Zozo. You've listened to all my advice, and there's nothing more I can teach you. Just follow your instincts, and you'll prevail.
With that, I headed off to finally end my 100 days for good! On day 99, I retraced my steps and found myself back where I wanted to be, right outside the Endergast base. He must have realized I took down his two-headed nether ogre because the place was swarming with Ender Creepers. Just as I was trying to get the drop on them, a familiar face snuck up on me. It was the mutant Hoglin.
Don't overwork yourself, bro. I'll handle these clowns. Slip inside while they're distracted.
Thanks, Mutant Hoglin. Now I could sneak into the base undetected. This was it! On day 100, I reached the top of the enemy's base and came face to face once again with the Endergast. He had been expecting me, but he wasn't too pleased that I'd made it this far.
You again. You really don't give up. Well, since you survived up to day 100, maybe I could find use for you. After all, you did just take down my last top henchman.
No chance. I'm here to put an end to this game once and for all.
Let's see about that, shall we? There's only one way this game ends. My way!
And before any more words could be exchanged, the battle began. I had to use all my strength and experience to take on the Endergast. I thought quick on my feet of a way to destroy him. I tried a few times, hitting the Endergast in the head with my fireballs and dealing some damage, but it had also angered him a lot. He let out a spew of fireballs, and I had to quickly get the heck out of the way. He flew down to get closer to me, and that made him vulnerable. Moving quickly, I used my claw attacks, then showed up with my mystical diamond sword. Then, as he fired his last fireball at me, I deflected it and sent it back his way, finishing him off for good measure. It worked! I had finished it! The Ender Ghast was defeated, and his ruthless hunt was over. I had survived the whole 100 days. On day 1, I spawned into a small village next to the bayou as myself. I'm just a little baby Zozo. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. Something has got to be going on here. I turned and looked at the village around me, trying to spot if anything was out of the ordinary. Nope, there was just a handful of villagers walking around, minding their own business. It's quiet. Too quiet. I don't trust this one bit. And my suspicions were confirmed when I saw a strange shape wandering into the village. It was a Warden Enderman. I'd never seen one before, so I decided to go and talk to him. Hey, Mr. Warden Enderman, I'm Zozo. Are you okay? You're not looking too good.
Sick. I feel sick. Help me.
I'm not sure I'm the right person for that. Maybe you should see a doctor or something?
Help me.
The Warden Enderman stepped forward and touched one of the villagers. Poof! He was immediately transformed into a vicious warden! What? How is that even possible? Suddenly, all of the villagers in the small village started transforming into wardens. It was like there was some kind of warden virus spreading. I need to get out of here. I ran out of the village as fast as I could before any of the wardens had a chance to sonic boom me. Whatever was going on, I needed to stop it, quickly. On day 2, I carried on running out of the village until I was deep in the bayou. It's like I'm trapped in some kind of horror movie. And with only 5 hearts, too. At least I'm safe out here. I can't see any wardens anywhere. But I spoke too soon. It seemed that as soon as I said something out loud, wardens started to surround me. Oh no, it looks like every mob is a warden here. With 5 hearts and no weapons, I knew that I didn't stand a chance against these monsters. I needed to get out of there, so I ran further into the bayou as fast as I could until I couldn't see the wardens behind me. Oh gosh, they could be anywhere. This is so spooky. Another figure came towards me out of the dark. For a second, I panicked until I saw with relief that it was a Crimson Wizard, not a warden.
Are you infected?
What?
We haven't much time. Did Patient Zero touch you? Are you infected, boy?
Patient Zero? Is that the long, lanky guy who can turn people into wardens by touching them?
Yes, that's him. Good. You're not infected then, but you won't be safe here for long. Follow me if you want to stay human.
That was an offer I couldn't turn down. I followed the Crimson Wizard deeper into the bayou, hopefully away from all the wardens chasing us. On day 3, the Crimson Wizard led me to a hideout in the bayou where he said a friend of his was living.
This is the Wood Villager's domain. He's a good man and a valuable ally in these times, but he's not very trusting.
When we arrived, we stopped outside the hideout, and the Wood Villager came out to meet us.
Crimson, this new guy, is he infected? Because if he's infected, I don't want him or you anywhere near this place.
Don't worry, Wood. He's clean. If he'd had any contact with Patient Zero, he would have been turned already.
Good. All healthy. Let's keep it that way. What's your name, kid?
I'm Zozo. Could you please explain to me what's going on here?
Simple. The event I've been predicting for years. The Warden Apocalypse. If we don't stay safe, everyone in the world could be turned into wardens, and those left will be destroyed by them.
But why? What's causing this?
We're not quite sure. We know it's infectious, and we know the Warden Enderman we call Patient Zero is part of it, but otherwise, we haven't a clue. But if we could find out what's causing the Warden Apocalypse, we might be able to stop it.
Then I guess that's exactly what we've got to do. Come with me, Crimson Wizard. Together, we're gonna figure out the secrets of the Warden Apocalypse and stop it all together. But first, let's get out of this bayou. It's giving me the creeps. We had our mission. The Crimson Wizard followed me out of the bayou. Together, we needed to solve the mystery and save the world. From day 4 to day 5, the Crimson Wizard and I headed out to the Borealis Grove, which seemed like a nicer place with fewer wardens, where we could build a really cool base. But before we can build an awesome warden defense base, we need some tools. I punched down some trees and turned the wood blocks into wood planks so I could make a crafting table. I then used my crafting table and my spare wood to build my first wooden pickaxe. And we all know there's only one thing that a wooden pickaxe is good for: building a stone pickaxe. I mined some stone and crafted a full set of stone tools and even a stone sword. That's when the Crimson Wizard approached me.
Here, Zozo, take some of these strings. You should really use these and some sticks to build a bow. You don't know how infectious the Warden virus is, so you should only take Wardens on at long range.
Great advice, Crimson Wizard. Thank you. I crafted myself a handy bow and then started to work on my base. It was basic at first, just a room for me and a room for the Crimson Wizard. But I also decided to build a furnace next to the base to make some smelting easier later. Once it was done, me and the Crimson Wizard admired all my hard work.
It's a good start, Zozo. We just need to keep developing it from here.
But the day wasn't all building and fun. Before the sun went down, a couple of wardens came towards the base out of the nearby trees. Lucky I've got my trusty bow. Take that! I used my bow to take out the two wardens without the risk of infection. What a relief! And defeating them gave me the XP to level up, getting bigger, stronger, and now having 10 hearts. My chances of survival just went up. From day 6 to day 8, with a basic base built and a basic set of weapons and tools crafted, I decided to venture out into another biome, the Black Forest, to look for clues behind what was causing the Warden-pocalypse. Jeez, this forest is creepy enough without having to worry about the Warden virus. That's when I saw a forest guardian being hassled by a pair of wardens. They looked like they might be about to hit him with their sonic boom power, and I definitely couldn't let that happen. Get away from him, wardens! I pulled out my bow and shot at the wardens until they were defeated. Then I went in to check if the forest guardian was okay. Are you okay, forest guardian?
Yes, I am, thanks to you. It was horrible. Those creatures were my friends once, before they turned into wardens. Something nightmarish is happening in the overworld.
The Warden-pocalypse! I'm trying to stop it. Is there anything you could tell me that might help me get to the bottom of this?
Yes, perhaps, but there's an even worse infection further into my beloved forest. Come help me with that, then I'll tell you everything I know.
From day 9 to day 10, the forest guardian and I went deeper into the Black Forest until we found a grove positively full of deadly wardens. Wow, this is a real infestation. I better take them out quick before it gets even worse. But of course, taking out the wardens was a lot easier said than done, especially because there were just so many of them. The second I fired an arrow at one of them, all the others were immediately alerted. They turned and started coming towards me. One of them even fired a sonic boom, staggering me and knocking off a few of my hearts. It was clear I wasn't strong or skilled enough to fight them yet, and I definitely didn't want them to touch me, so I really needed to get out of there. I ran off, leaving the wardens behind. Once they'd finally stopped chasing me, I ran into the forest guardian again. I'm so sorry, forest guardian. There were just too many of them. I couldn't do it.
It's okay, Zozo. You tried your best. I'm just glad you weren't infected.
I promise, we'll come back and solve this. We'll solve everything. Want to come back with me to my base in the meantime? There's safety in numbers.
Good idea, Zozo. Lead the way.
From day 11 to day 12, I brought the forest guardian back to my base and built a new room for him. I filled it with plenty of plants just to make sure he wasn't homesick.
Thank you, Zozo. This is an excellent room, and including the plants was very thoughtful.
No problem, forest guardian. Now, could you tell me everything you know about the Warden-pocalypse? It might hold the key to stopping this whole thing.
Well, I don't know much, but one day this strange, tall creature came wandering through the forest in the middle of the night. I'd never seen anything like it. But I know the day after it happened, that's when so many of the forest dwellers started turning into wardens.
This sounds just like Patient Zero, so he really is behind all of this. Knowing what I did now, I continued working to improve my base and my tools. I mined in the Borealis Grove until I found a vein of iron ore. I took it back to my base and used my furnace and crafting table to smelt and craft it into a full set of iron tools. Now I need to make sure my other supplies are sustainable. I created a paddock on the grounds of my base and herded some sheep into it. After all, you can never be too careful during the Warden-pocalypse. From day 13 to day 15, I approached the Crimson Wizard, who seemed to be the overworld's biggest expert on the Warden-pocalypse. Crimson, I need your advice. I want to gather more information on the Warden Apocalypse, but I don't know where to start.
Perhaps go to the lush red desert. There, we can see how these infected wardens react to different environments. If we're lucky, we might be able to find some kind of weakness we can use.
Following the Crimson Wizard's advice, I journeyed all the way to the lush red desert to find out more. And both luckily and unluckily for me, it looked like it was crawling with wardens. Guess I at least won't be hurting for research subjects. But what I discovered through my research didn't make me feel any better. The infected wardens seemed just as powerful and dangerous in the desert as they did in the bayou or the forest. Stopping the Warden Apocalypse is gonna be a lot harder than I thought. When a few of them attacked me, I was at least able to take them out with my bow, and they dropped a few useful items, some shark tooth arrows for my bow, and a health potion. You can never have enough health. Bottoms up! The potion was a huge help. I went from 10 to 30 hearts immediately. Finally, some good news today. From day 16 to day 19, I continued my search for some useful items or information. That's what led me down into a dark, spooky underground cave. Thankfully, back at my base, I'd made plenty of torches to place along the walls and mark my way. This should shed some light on the situation. I'm glad nobody was down here to hear that. I didn't find any useful crafting items down there, but I did find something strange and interesting all the same. An old book marked Warden Laboratory Research Notes. Most of the pages had been ruined, but one of the ones that hadn't been read. The virus is progressing even faster than we'd initially imagined. Perhaps too fast. I thought it might be the perfect weapon, but it infects and transforms its victims so quickly. It might be too difficult to control. Are we unlocking something truly terrible here? Wait, so people might have actually made the Warden virus? My reading time was interrupted by another Warden wandering into the cave. He tried to blast me with his sonic boom, but this time I was able to dodge and fire back with my bow. He went down in one shot, and I was safe once more. I'm becoming quite the Warden Slayer. From day 20 to day 22, I wanted to test out the strength of my new Warden slaying skills some more. I'd noticed that the wardens liked waiting in old or abandoned places, so I found my way to an old abandoned house and searched inside. Sure enough, some wardens were waiting for me, and I easily defeated them with my bow. There may be some hope of stopping the Warden Apocalypse after all. I also found some iron ingots in a chest inside the abandoned house and decided I'd make use of them. I went back to my base and used my crafting table to create a set of iron armor. That should hopefully have made the Warden's sonic booms pack less of a deadly punch. What's a good offense without some good defense after all? The Forest Guardian came out of the house and gave me a few apples he gathered while I was away. He thought I would be starving after my long journey in the desert. Feeling so much stronger and more confident than before, I journeyed deep into the Black Forest once again, until I found the area infested by all those wardens. This time, I'm not running away! Using my superb bow skills, I took out every single one of the wardens and cleared the forest! The Forest Guardian is gonna be so happy when I tell him! I was journeying back to my base through the Borealis Grove when I heard a familiar, creepy voice and saw a familiar, tall, dark shape. It was Patient Zero!
Please, help me. The experiments, my creation.
I was curious about what he said about the so-called experiments, but I was also scared out of my mind. I ran away as fast as I could, and I just hoped Patient Zero wouldn't be following me. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base, still feeling a little worried that Patient Zero might be on my tail. I waited outside the base for a few hours with my bow at the ready. I was just lucky that he never showed up. That's one problem I wouldn't have to deal with until later. But I still had some good news to give. I ran over to the Forest Guardian, who was sitting outside and enjoying nature. Forest Guardian, I have great news! I went back to the Black Forest and drove out the Warden infestation. It should be safe for you to return now.
That is great news, Zozo. Thank you for all that you've done. I shall return to the forest now. I wish you luck in bringing the Warden Apocalypse to an end. Here is a reward for your help.
He threw me an anvil and a flame one enchantment, and with that, the Forest Guardian left. Already, something else was on my mind. I got lucky that Patient Zero didn't follow me back this time. What if next time I wasn't so lucky? I really need to build some new base defenses and equipment upgrades. First, I upgraded my bow. I placed the anvil at my base, and with the help of the enchanted book Flame 1, I was able to enchant my bow to fire flaming arrows. This will really make it pack a punch. Then, I built a strong defensive wall around my base. You can't have a warden-slaying fortress if wardens can just waltz right in at any time they like. After the wall was done, I stood back and took in how far my base had come. I might just be able to save the world! From day 27 to day 31, I decided it was time to have a change of scenery and explore further for more clues about the origin of the Warden virus. That's why I went to the White Beach. I think I'm onto something, and all this talk of secret labs and experiments, but I'm still missing important information. My thoughts were interrupted when I ran into a small gang of villagers on the run through the beach. They looked worried and frightened. Hey, are you guys okay?
Far from it. An army of wardens attacked our village. Almost everyone was wiped out or changed. And now we have nowhere to live.
You're in luck. Well, aside from the whole village destruction thing, of course. You can head back to my base in the Borealis Grove. I'll keep you safe there while I figure out how to stop the Warden apocalypse. While the villagers headed back to my base, I decided I'd collect a few blocks of sand for a construction project I was working on. When I returned to my base, I added more rooms for the villagers to sleep in. I also used my furnace to turn the sand into glass, so I could give my base some windows. Perfect for keeping an eye out for the Warden hordes out there. Just as I was standing back and appreciating my hard work, the Crimson Wizard ran towards me in a panic.
Zozo, there's trouble going down in the bayou. Big trouble. I need your help.
From day 32 to day 35, the Crimson Wizard and I ran back to the Wood Villagers' hideout in the bayou. Crimson was right about him being in trouble, because by the time we had made it to the hideout, it was already overrun with wardens. We'll come save you, Woody!
No, don't be reckless. It's already too late for me. Get out of here and save yourselves.
I didn't want to believe it was true. I pulled out my new fire-enchanted bow and shot flaming arrow after flaming arrow into the wardens until none were left standing. Then I ran in to see how the wood villager was doing.
Stop right there.
But why? I saved you.
No, you don't understand. I'm infected, Zozo. I'm sorry, but like I told you, it's already too late for me.
Poof! The wood villager turned into a warden and fired a sonic boom at me. It was hard, but I had no choice. I fired a flaming arrow at the warden that had once been the wood villager, and he was no more. From day 36 to day 39, I needed to get away from the bayou and from the Borealis Grove. I was still so shaken up after what happened to the wood villager. I just couldn't stand it. That's why I went to the tropical rainforest, wandering around and feeling the sunshine and thick tropical air washing all my troubles away. That's when I ran into the illager from the faraway lands, a mysterious stranger walking through the rainforest. Hey, Mr. Illager! I was taking kind of a vacation day out here, but since you're around, would you happen to know anything about the Warden apocalypse?
Oh, I know a lot about the Warden apocalypse. A lot. But I won't give you that information for free. It comes at a price.
Name it.
There are some more of those blasted wardens near here. They chased me out of my favorite part of the rainforest. Go destroy them, and we'll talk.
Deal! Following the illager's instructions, I searched around the nearby forest until I happened upon a group of wardens wandering around, searching for fresh victims. It didn't take long for me to take them all out with my bow and flaming arrows. Then I made my way back to the illager, eager to find out more about what I was really facing out here. Tell me everything you know about the one they call Patient Zero, the Warden Enderman. He's the one who caused all this. I need to understand him.
He wasn't always a monster. Well, not in the literal sense anyway. He was a scientist once, and quite a brilliant one at that. But as time went on, his experiments got stranger and stranger. And then, when people started refusing to work with him, he started doing experiments on himself. I imagine one day he went too far and became the Patient Zero you know today.
So, he was normal once. Interesting. Maybe, deep down, there's something in there I can still reason with. From day 40 to day 43, I returned to my base, turning over all the new information I'd learned in my mind. I also missed having the forest guardian around, so I decided, as a tribute to him, to add a bunch more plants and flowers to my base. It really brightened the place up,
and helped remind me about what I was fighting for. After I'd put in all these new beautiful natural decorations, I was approached by some of the villagers I'd sent back to my base earlier. They needed another favor.
Zozo, we've heard from some friends and family members from other villages who have been chased out by the wardens too. They need a place to stay. Can they come join us here?
Of course! Tell them to come over. I'll make room for them all. As the new villagers flooded in, I built barracks with bunk beds to hold them all. It made me feel safe to know how many people would be here at the base with us, and the villagers seemed happy with the new arrangement too.
We couldn't be more grateful, Zozo. You're genuinely saving lives here.
Please, all in a day's work.
Though we were wondering if we could ask you for one more favor. We're a little worried about what happened to a village a ways north of here. We have family and friends there. Would you be able to go and check it out?
Of course, if it puts your minds at ease and potentially lets me help more people, it's more than worth the trip. But when I made that agreement, I had no idea just how bad things would get. From day 44 to day 49, I followed the instructions given to me by the villagers at my base and traveled all the way to a village on the other side of the Borealis Grove. Hello? Anyone there? Gosh, this place is giving me the creeps. I walked through the village and found that nobody seemed to be there. There were a few little abandoned houses and one bigger house that I assume maybe belonged to the village mayor. But now, there was nobody here. Well, almost nobody. Suddenly, the last person I wanted to see, Patient Zero, came wandering out from between the houses.
Must keep going. Have to keep spreading it. The beautiful sickness.
Wait! I know who you really are! Kinda. I know you used to be a scientist. Can't we just be reasonable and talk all this out? There's got to be some of you still in there.
Maybe once, but not now. Sorry, can't control myself anymore. My creation has the will. The Warden apocalypse cannot be stopped.
And with that, Patient Zero wandered off. But as soon as he was gone, a gang of wardens that must have once been the villagers, started surrounding me. Too many for me to just stand and shoot. I need to get out of here before I get infected. From day 50 to day 53, I ran to the only place I could to buy me some time from the advancing army of wardens into the large house. I ran in and closed the door behind me, quickly running up to the top floor. I knew I couldn't escape them from there, but at least it would give me some time to plan. I hid inside what must have been the house's master bedroom, but while I was there, I couldn't help but notice that there was a bookmarked diary. Normally, it's extremely rude to read someone's diary, but since this person was probably transformed into a warden, I figured it was okay. And I'm glad I did, because it read, "Curses. I should have never agreed to work with that awful scientist. All the men I lost to getting him those skulk shriekers from the deep dark for his experiments. I betrayed my people for nothing." But I couldn't read for long. Suddenly, the wardens burst in, and I pulled out my bow. Firing as quickly as I could, I managed to defeat them all. Now it was time to get out of the village before any more could show up. From day 54 to day 57, I left the abandoned house and found that the ship had already sailed on stopping more from showing up. There were a whole bunch of wardens outside, waiting for me, ready to attack. I was just very lucky that I still had plenty of arrows, or my goose would have been cooked. Time to send these wardens back to the deep dark. I fired and fired until there were no wardens left. One of them even dropped something, a dagger. Maybe he was trying to use it to defeat Patient Zero, but he got infected in the process. I won't make that same mistake. I grabbed the dagger and ran back to my base as fast as I could. The Crimson Wizard was waiting for me. Crimson, I think I have some valuable information. Patient Zero used to be a scientist, and I found out from an old diary that his Warden virus experiments involved using skulk shriekers.
Skulk shriekers, of course. Zozo, this is a game changer. If you can get me some skulk shriekers from the deep dark, I might be able to manufacture a vaccine.
Vaccine? What's that?
It's a special chemical compound made from a weak or dead version of the virus, which allows the body's immune system, that's the part of your body that fights off diseases,
to recognize and better fight it off. If we can create a proper vaccine for the Warden virus using the Skulk Shriekers, we can make everyone immune.
That sounds like an amazing idea, Crimson! We might finally turn the Warden apocalypse around! From day 58 to day 62, I prepared to undertake this new part of the mission, obtaining the Skulk Shriekers to make the Warden virus vaccine. But first, I needed to upgrade my gear in my base in case of a potential counterattack. First, I expanded my paddock and included even more sheep, just to make sure we had spares if the Warden virus somehow started spreading among sheep too. And if I have trouble getting to sleep at night, I can always come out here and count them. Then, I traveled to a nearby diamond mine that one of the villagers told me about and started mining precious diamonds. Diamonds are a Warden Slayer's best friend. Once I'd obtained them, I returned to my base and forged a full set of diamond armor, along with some cool diamond tools and weapons. I was better defended than ever before. Time to find some Skulk Shriekers! From day 63 to day 66, I went to the Crimson Wizard in my full diamond armor and asked for some instructions.
I recommend you head to the Shattered Glacier, Zozo. It's one of the few places I know of in the overworld that has a safe tunnel leading to the Deep Dark. That's your best bet at finding Skulk Shriekers.
Following the Crimson Wizard's advice, I journeyed all the way over to the Shattered Glacier. Lucky for me, there didn't seem to be many wardens around, just lots and lots of ice. Yeesh, I should have brought a warmer jacket. It's totally freezing out here. Soon enough, I came upon a fortress guarded by a huge ice Vial-Ogre. He looked tough and dangerous, so I immediately started worrying that he'd want to fight.
Who goes there? I'm the guardian of this place.
And what exactly is this place?
The tunnel to the Deep Dark. But I'm not letting anyone in. There's been a dangerous Warden infestation in there, and I can't let civilians wander in willy-nilly.
But I'm not just any civilian. I'm a professional Warden Slayer, and I'm searching for the Skulk Shriekers that'll help my friend, the Crimson Wizard, create a vaccine for the Warden virus.
You're a Warden Slayer, huh? Prove it. There are some Wardens just west of here. Take care of them, and I'll let you into the Deep Dark.
Deal. From day 67 to day 70, I did what the Ice Vial-Ogre Guardian told me to do, and went off in search of the local Warden infestation. These creatures are so hardy, they can seemingly survive in any biome. This is why I really need those Skulk Shriekers. Eventually, I found a small swarm of Wardens. Lucky for me, I was able to get the element of surprise on them. I pulled out my enchanted bow and took them all out, one by one. But with all my confidence, I didn't expect one of them to have snuck up on me from behind. It hit me with a sonic boom, stunning me and then starting to get closer. If it touched me, I might have gotten infected. So I picked myself back up and ran away as fast as I could. When I'd made some decent distance, I turned around and shot it with my bow, finally finishing off this Warden infestation. With that taken care of, I returned to the Ice Vial-Ogre at the compound.
You have proven yourself. I'll let you go down to the Deep Dark. Just be careful down there. Your luck can change in an instant.
He stepped aside, revealing a dark, deep hole into the ground with a ladder. From day 71 to day 74, I climbed down into the Deep Dark. Just like the name said, it was really deep and really dark, and it took me forever to climb down there. When I reached the bottom, I realized that the Ice Vial-Ogre's warning was completely true. There were several Wardens at the bottom, waiting for me. I needed to pull out my enchanted bow and shoot at them to scare them away. Maybe the Crimson Wizard should have sent somebody else to do this. After I'd defeated and scared off some of the Wardens, I searched deeper into the Deep Dark. It was certainly spooky down there. Luckily, I eventually found some Skulk Shriekers and used my diamond pickaxe to harvest them. Hopefully this will be enough for the Crimson Wizard to start producing the vaccine. I was heading back to the ladder when suddenly a familiar figure wandered out of the darkness towards me. It was him, Patient Zero!
What are you doing here? I'm trying to collect more samples for my research. Are you a thief, little one?
In a panic, I pulled out my bow and tried shooting him, but it didn't have any effect. And I didn't want to get any closer in case I got infected. I ran around him as fast as I could and started climbing the ladder back up to the surface. I still wasn't ready to face him just yet. From day 75 to day 78, I returned back to my base, shaken by my encounter with Patient Zero, but still feeling proud of myself for getting the Skulk Shriekers. Of course, I immediately gave them over to the Crimson Wizard.
This is amazing, Zozo. Give me a day or so and I'll see what I can whip up.
While the Crimson Wizard was working away on the vaccine for the Warden virus, I decided to make some base improvements, like making the wall taller so I could have better defenses against Warden attacks. By the time all my construction projects were done, the Crimson Wizard had something for me.
I think I've done it, Zozo. I think I've created a Warden virus vaccine potion. But I need to be able to test it before we give it to people.
It's okay, Crimson. You can test it on me.
Are you sure, Zozo? It's still experimental.
If it helps save the world, it's a risk I'm willing to take. I drank the Warden virus vaccine, and the change was immediate. Not only was I now immune to the virus, I was bigger, stronger, and had 60 hearts.
These results are incredible, Zozo. We must share it with the world. Here, take as many Warden virus vaccines as you can carry. Give them to as many friendly people as you can. Together, we'll stop the Warden apocalypse once and for all.
From day 79 to day 84, I decided I'd take advantage of my new immunity and roam the Badlands, taking on any Warden that I saw. It felt great to finally be on top of things and know that the end of the Warden apocalypse may finally be in sight. During my exciting Warden-slaying adventures, I came across an old hunter also wandering the Badlands. Mr. Hunter, my friend created a Warden virus vaccine. If you and everyone you know takes these, you can avoid getting infected. Please, take a bunch.
This is incredible! What do you want in return, kind sir?
Nothing. The more people have these, the safer we're all going to be.
Then please, as a token of my gratitude, at least take this crossbow. I've used it on many a Warden myself. Believe me, it packs a mean punch.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter. I'll use it well. From day 85 to day 89, after giving Warden virus vaccine potions to as many people as I could, I came back to my base to stock up again, only to find that it was being attacked by another gang of infected Wardens. This wasn't supposed to happen. Using my new crossbow, I started shooting at the Wardens, taking out a few of them and scaring the rest away. But I couldn't just let them escape. If they did, they might infect more people. I immediately turned and started running after them as fast as I could. But on the way through the Borealis Grove, I saw an innocent Vile Ogre being surrounded by another group of Wardens. I wasn't about to let him get infected too, so I ran in, crossbow blazing. Thankfully, I was able to take out all those Wardens before they could infect the Vile Ogre with the Warden virus. I gave him one of the vaccine potions too, just to be safe.
You won't regret this, Zozo. Someday, I will repay this kindness. You have my word.
From day 90 to day 94, I continued my chase after the Wardens deep into the Borealis forest. Little did I know, these infected Wardens had set up a trap for me. I reached a clearing and used my crossbow to take out a few of the Wardens, only to find that there were way more waiting for me, coming at me from every angle. For a second, I thought I was doomed. Then I remembered the most important thing. I'd taken the vaccine. I was immune. Remembering this, I pulled out my diamond sword and decided to take on the Wardens directly. Let's do this. I'm canceling the Warden apocalypse. From day 95 to day 97, I kept fighting, using my diamond sword to mow through the Warden army like a dad's lawnmower through grass. Soon enough, I defeated every single one of them, and all that was left on the floor was a single book. I picked it up, and just like the damaged book I'd found so long ago, it was titled Warden Laboratory Research Notes. One of these Wardens must have been another scientist at the lab. I leafed through the pages. One part read, "Things are getting out of hand. There have been way too many incidents lately. The lead researcher is getting reckless as his obsession with the Warden virus grows. I fear that if we don't get control of this soon, the Warden virus might leak out into the Zelkova forest and maybe even beyond." The Zelkova forest! That must be where the lab is! I can go down there and finish all of this once and for all! On day 98, I returned to my base to tell the Crimson Wizard and the leader of the villagers the good news. I gathered them together to share. Guys, I think I finally have what it takes to finish the Warden apocalypse and save the world. I found out that the lab where the Warden virus started is in the Zelkova forest. I'm gonna defeat Patient Zero and destroy the entire lab, so this never happens again.
I wish you luck, Zozo, but I don't think you'll need it. You've become the greatest Warden Slayer the world has ever known. I'll continue sharing the Warden virus vaccine while you're gone to help the world become immune.
Thank you, Crimson Wizard. I never could have done any of this without you. Then the leader of the villagers gave me a gift. If you can call 64 blocks of TNT a gift.
Hey, if you want to destroy the whole lab, you're gonna need some serious explosive power.
Thanks, villager. Just, why do you have this?
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to, kid.
And with that, I was ready to go and save the world from the Warden virus! On day 99, I traveled all the way to the Zelkova forest, hoping to find the lab and destroy the evil of the Warden virus. On the way there, I ran into the King Pig and decided to give him some of the Warden virus vaccines for his pig kingdom.
Thank you, Zozo. You can do this. I believe in you.
After searching a little longer, I found the lab. It was abandoned and crawling with wardens around the outside. Even if they couldn't infect me, there was no way I could take them all out and still defeat Patient Zero afterwards. But then, just as I needed him most, the vile ogre I saved earlier ran in, ready to fight.
I told you I'd repay your kindness someday, Zozo, and that day is today. You go in there and take down the big boss. I'll take care of these warden creeps for you.
On day 100, I entered the abandoned laboratory, which was somehow even creepier than the deep dark. I wandered through the halls, encountering warden after warden and taking them down with my crossbow. It was why the only way to end this was to defeat Patient Zero and destroy the lab altogether. Eventually, in the largest room of the lab, I found him waiting for me. It's time for this to end, Patient Zero. The Warden apocalypse is over.
Fool! You have no idea what you're dealing with. The Warden apocalypse is just beginning. On a long enough timeline, the virus will mutate, becoming bigger and stronger until nobody can stop it.
That's why I need to stop you right now. He hit me and was astonished to see that I didn't transform into a warden.
No, this is impossible. How could you be immune to my beautiful virus?
We took the vaccine. It's over, Patient Zero. There's only one cure for you. I pulled out my dagger and destroyed Patient Zero in one shot. All that was left to do was destroy the lab itself, so nobody could ever find his work. I went back outside and put TNT all around the lab, completely surrounding it with the explosive blocks. Afterwards, I stood back and fired a single flaming arrow. Boom! The lab was completely destroyed, and the Warden apocalypse was truly over. On day 1, I spawned into the ancient forest as an elemental enderman. Elemental enderman? Whoa! So I guess that makes me a guardian of nature. Still, I only have 5 hearts. In the blink of an eye, before I even realized what was happening, I suddenly warped a few feet away from myself. Oh wow! I guess elemental endermen have the power to teleport, like other endermen. This just keeps getting cooler and cooler. But I looked around the ancient forest around me and noticed that something was wrong. Really wrong. If the ancient forest is the true home of all elemental endermen, how come I'm the only one here? Before I had a chance to ponder this question, a gang of skeleton vanguards turned up, and they didn't look happy.
Dang, looks like we missed one, boys. We better grab this elemental enderman too, or Mr. Boss is gonna kick all our butts.
Wait, who's gonna kick your butt? What does this have to do with me?
Sorry, buddy, but orders are orders. We gotta bring you in.
I didn't feel like I was strong enough to fight the skeleton vanguards yet, so instead, I used my warping power and got out of there. It would have been good news if the place to the ancient forest I'd teleported to didn't already have a creepy whisperer already waiting for me. I just can't win today. I ran away as fast as I could, eventually just laying down under some ancient tree when I got too tired. I need to figure out why those skeleton vanguards were after me. Also, who's this Mr. Boss guy, and what does he have against elemental endermen? On day 2, I woke up under the tree with a sore back from sleeping on the ground. Man, I really need to get myself a bed. I wasn't going to just sit and wait around. I wandered out into the forest to start making my own luck. But first, I'm gonna need some tools. I broke down a tree until I had enough wood and sticks to make a crafting bench and a wooden pickaxe, then mined enough stone to make a stone pickaxe and a stone sword, just in case. That's more like it. As I was wandering through the forest, looking for a big enough plot to build my base on, I saw a secret cabin, with a wind caller watching me from the doorway. I walked over to say hello.
It's surprising to see an elemental enderman out here. I thought Mr. Boss's goons nabbed them all.
I guess I'm the one who got away. But who is this Mr. Boss guy, and why is he making so much trouble for me?
It's not just you, if it makes you feel any better. Mr. Boss is a jerk to everyone because he thinks he's the best. And when he thinks someone has more power than him, he tries to destroy them to make himself feel better.
What an awful thing to do! I better work hard until I can stop him.
You're definitely not going to stop him like that, kid. You look half-starved. Here, take these apples.
The friendly wind caller gave me a bunch of apples to take with me. I thanked him, then mined some extra stone and wood before going on my way. On day 3, I got really lucky. I found some kind of old abandoned structure in the woods where it didn't look like anybody had lived for years. It's a little rundown and creepy, but with a little love and care, this might make a perfect elemental enderman base. So that's exactly what I did. I went through the building, fixing up the broken walls and clearing the cobwebs. It was really coming along. But just as I was starting to make some real progress, I saw a wave whisperer coming right towards my base. I need to take care of this thing before it causes any harm around here. I ran out of the base and drew my stone sword. I warped right over to the wave whisperer and took it on, hacking away until it was nothing but XP. So much XP, in fact, that I leveled up. I not only got bigger and went from 5 to 10 hearts, I gained a new ability, turning invisible for a limited time. Mr. Boss is never gonna see me coming. With the Wave Whisperer taken care of, I spent the rest of the day fixing up the base. It was looking good as new. From day 4 to day 5, I went deeper into the ancient forest, hoping there I'd find some more materials to help improve the size of my base. After all, with Mr. Boss out there, I really needed to be well defended. I hope the ancient forest will forgive me for using its resources for the greater good. But during my gathering mission, I accidentally ran into the same group of skeleton vanguards who had been chasing me since I spawned here.
Well, if it isn't the elemental enderman whose skinny legs got too big for his boots.
Now I know you skeleton vanguards are the minions of some guy called Mr. Boss. Why do you even work for someone who's so mean?
'Cause we're mean too, duh. Plus, he pays well. So if he doesn't like the look of someone and wants them taken care of, we're happy to do what he says. Get up, boys.
The skeleton vanguard started attacking me, but this time I wasn't just going to sit there and take it. I used my stone sword to fight back, and soon enough, I defeated the whole group. From day 6 to day 8, I found an underground cavern that I'd heard rumors was rich with different materials. It was the perfect place to start my very own mine. I constructed a furnace near the entrance and started mining until I found some veins of iron, exactly what I wanted. I mined the iron and used my furnace to make myself some iron ingots. With those, it was a cinch to make myself an iron sword, pickaxe, and a chest plate. This is really gonna up my mining and fighting game. How exciting! And I needed to test those new qualities quickly because a bunch of mossy skeletons were emerging from the darkness, and it was already too late to try turning invisible. Guess these guys have a bone to pick with me. Using my new iron sword, I defeated each and every one of the mossy skeletons. This upgraded gear had already paid for itself. From day 9 to day 10, I traveled further from my home and went all the way to the Black Forest so I could sustainably get some wooden blocks from there rather than overusing the ancient forest. Despite its sinister name, the Black Forest was a nice and peaceful place for the most part. I didn't have any trouble going through and cutting down a few trees to collect the blocks. Until, on my way back through the forest, I ran into a big, wide golem with purple veins going through him. I just knew this had to be Mr. Boss.
Yo, you're that dweeby little elemental enderman that's been messing with all my boys. Not cool, just like you. Am I gonna have to teach you some manners, you little tree hugger?
I think it's you that needs the lesson in manners, Mr. Boss. Stay out of these forests. I warped right over to him and attacked him with my iron sword, but it had literally no effect. He just laughed, and I backed away, terrified at how strong he was.
Nice, that almost tickled. Now it's my turn, you little runt.
But if those were the hits he could take, I definitely didn't want to see the ones he could give. I turned invisible and ran away before he could catch me. There's no way I could beat this guy like this. He's just too strong. While I was running away, I turned visible again and ran into a mountaineer who was also in the Black Forest. He looked at me like I was oddly familiar.
Running, huh? From Mr. Boss?
Wait, how did you know?
He's been shaking down everyone around these parts, the big mean bully. Nobody's been strong enough to stop him before, so we all just let him boss us around.
Well, that stops here. I'm sick of his bullying. I'm gonna get strong enough to defeat Mr. Boss once and for all. I led the mountaineer back through the Black Forest. I'd made my first ever ally. From day 11 to day 12, I led the mountaineer back to my base.
I see room for improvement, sure, but it's nice to have a roof over my head. Thank you, Zozo. I'm happy to stay here with you.
Of course, my first course of action was adding a new room to my base, complete with a bed so that the mountaineer could sleep.
Oh, nice and cozy, just how I like it.
I know what you like, bro. But my encounter with Mr. Boss made me realize just how dangerous he was, and I needed to be as tough as possible to survive an encounter with him. That's why I went back to my underground mining cavern to mine some more iron ore. And while I was exploring the old mine, I found something interesting, a bow and some arrows. It's always useful to have a long-range attack. Yoink! While I was smelting the iron ore, it turned out I found that bow just in time. I was attacked by a dread beast that had been hiding out in the cavern. I didn't want it to get too close to me, so I used my bow to take it out at a distance. It was a real lifesaver. With the extra iron ore I gathered, I made myself some new ingots and some new pieces of iron armor. That made me way more defensible. I also had enough to make the axe and the shovel. I'm fully ironed out now. And speaking of defensible, I went back to my base afterwards and started construction on a perimeter wall. I even put up a little sign, "No Mr. Boss allowed." Yeah, that'll show him. From day 13 to day 15, I went back to the Windcaller's secret cabin in the ancient forest to tell him how I was doing and share everything I'd learned. It turns out Mr. Boss is way stronger than I thought, Windcaller. I thought he was just some average bully. I had no idea he was some super powerful mob boss.
Perhaps I wasn't fully honest with you about what you were going up against, Zozo. Mr. Boss certainly is a nasty customer. He was your average village defending golem once, but one day he went bad. Sick of working for the villagers, he decided that everyone would work for him. Right now, he's probably in the boss base, a special mansion he constructed to house him and his skeleton vanguards. They're up there, feasting all day, planning what evil deeds they'll commit next. Just for fun, and to feel powerful. And so far, nobody has ever been able to defeat him. But Zozo, that doesn't mean you can't be the first.
No, I'm sorry, Windcaller, but I think he might just be too powerful. If everyone else has failed to defeat him, I don't think I'm gonna be the exception. Before Windcaller could try to encourage me otherwise, I left back to my base, feeling ashamed. From day 16 to day 19, I started off just sitting around my base, moping. I already felt like a failure, and if I couldn't even stand up to Mr. Boss, I didn't even know why I spawned here. But my self-pity was interrupted by the mountaineer approaching me with a quest, an important, personal one.
Zozo, I need your help. A good friend of mine, Dottie the Dodo Hippogriff, has been missing in the Crag Gardens for days. I need you to go find her.
Of course, Mountaineer, I'll get right on it. I set off on a long journey to the Crag Gardens to find the mountaineer's friend, Dodie. Lucky for me, but unlucky for her, I almost immediately found her getting attacked by a Dreadlich. Hey, get away from her! This distracted the Dreadlich, giving Dottie a chance to run away. It was just me and the Dreadlich now.
You dare come to my domain and tell me what I can and cannot do, elemental Enderman?
Nobody should bully and attack people anywhere, for any reason.
Foolish and weak. For this, I shall destroy you where you stand.
But it didn't quite turn out that way. Instead, I pulled out my iron sword and fought back. His magic staff allowed him to attack me with his magical plasma, but soon enough, the Dreadlich was defeated, and I'd gained enough XP to level up again. I got bigger, jumped up to 30 hearts, and gained a new power, Elemental Blast. I'll have to test that out on an enemy at some point. With the Dreadlich gone, Dottie came back to thank me for saving her. I'm here because your friend the Mountaineer was really worried about you, Dottie. He sent me back to come look for you.
I'm so sorry that I worried him, but I came out here for a very good reason. I was searching for the Scythe of Justice.
Oh? What's that?
It's a legendary enchanted scythe that apparently lends its users incredible power. It might be exactly what we need to defeat Mr. Boss.
Wait, if a weapon like that exists, I might be able to stop Mr. Boss after all. Come with me, Dottie. I have a new plan. And so, Dottie and I started journeying back to my base. From day 20 to day 22, Dottie and I returned to my base, only to find that it was already under attack from another gang of skeleton vanguards. Wow, these jerks really don't know when to quit. Stand back, Dottie. I ran in and defeated those nasty skeleton vanguards with an energy blast, followed by some well-placed slashes with my iron sword. Not so tough now, are you? I extinguished the fires and took some time to build a new section of the base where Dottie could stay while she was hanging out with me and the Mountaineer.
This looks so cozy, Zozo. Thank you.
Once Dottie was settled in, I spoke to the Mountaineer. He had a plan.
Zozo, let's build a statue. I can tell you've been having some motivation issues lately. Maybe if we could build you a cool statue, it'll help keep you inspired and remind you what's important.
It's a great idea, Mountaineer. Let's split up and search for some materials. I went out into the ancient forest and gathered up some blocks for the construction. But by the time I came back, I was astonished to find that the Mountaineer had already made some great progress. This is coming on amazingly, Mountaineer.
Thanks, Zozo. How about you work on the next bit? My arms could use a rest.
While the Mountaineer rested, I went to work on the statue with the blocks I'd collected. Can you tell what it's gonna be? I wonder if you can guess. Oh, and if you want some more exciting Zozo adventures, hit subscribe and ring the bell to never miss another one. From day 23 to day 26, I started off the week by fighting off another gang of nasty mobs, some whisperers. They were descending right onto my base. Why don't you guys respect my personal space? I worked hard on this base. I pulled out my bow and took out each of the whisperers one by one. Then I warped out to check and see if they had dropped anything. Turns out they dropped a few shark tooth arrows. Those would be useful later. I should go search for somewhere to test out these new arrows. That's why I decided to take a trip to the Cypress Swampland, where I'd never been before. And they certainly knew how to roll out the welcome wagon, because it didn't take long for me to be attacked by some dread scuttlers. Good thing I have those arrows, because I wouldn't even want to get near those things. Thanks to a few well-placed shark tooth arrows, the dread scuttlers were soon defeated. I kept exploring until eventually I ran into a pink pixie.
Hi there, I'm Greta, the pink pixie. I don't want to be a bother, but I was wondering if I could ask for a favor.
Hi, Greta. I'm Zozo. And of course, what's the favor?
This big meanie called Mr. Boss chased me out of my home, and now I don't have anywhere to live. Could I come stay with you for a while? My friends tell me that I have great interior design skills.
Of course you can come stay with me, Greta. Let's go! We both went back to my base, where I built Greta a nice little room. Perfect for a dainty pink pixie. The only thing I didn't expect was for her to have already built something for me.
Take a look, Zozo. I built you a relaxation room. It's perfect for chilling out after a long, hard day of trying to defeat evil in the overworld.
This is awesome, Greta, thank you! Let's take some time to relax in there now! From day 27 to day 31, I decided to speak to Greta, the pink pixie, in the relaxation room and ask her where I might be able to find the Scythe of Justice.
Oh wow, the Scythe of Justice! I've heard so many legends. People have told me that the Scythe is strongly in tune with the forces of nature, so it's possible that it could be in the forest. Try the deciduous forest first. That place is pretty darn magical.
Taking Greta's advice, I immediately journeyed out to the deciduous forest. It was a very magical place, and I felt my elemental Enderman soul feeling strongly connected to the nature all around me. Until the Illusioner showed up.
Yes, it is I, Zozo, the Illusioner. Mr. Boss sent me to ensure that you never get your hands on the Scythe of Justice. The glory shall be mine, mine, mine!
Even if I say please?
I'm evil, Zozo. Please means nothing to me. Now hold still, so I can destroy you!
The Illusioner fired an energy blast at me. I took the hit, but thankfully I was able to tank it. I pulled out my sword and attacked the Illusioner until he was begging for mercy.
Okay, you've won this time, Zozo, but I'll get you next time. Mark my words, I'll get you next time!
And with that, the Illusioner teleported away, and I was free to continue my journey after the Scythe of Justice. From day 32 to day 35, while I was searching through the deciduous forest, I found more pixies, orange ones this time. Hey, orange pixies! I'm in search of the Scythe of Justice, so I can put a stop to Mr. Boss's reign of terror. Any idea where I can find it?
Oh, the Scythe of Justice?
I know a few things about it, but I'm sorry to tell you, you won't be able to find it here. Mr. Boss and his goons have been all over this forest. If they haven't found it, you won't find it here either.
Darn it! How about you guys head back to my base? We can talk more about it there. I'm gonna check just a little further, just in case. The orange pixies left to find their way back to my base while I continued searching. This was a decision I'd come to regret, as soon enough, Mr. Boss jumped out of the shadows again and hit me so hard I lost almost half my hearts.
Told you it was my turn. You think you can get away from me, you elemental dork? This is my world, and here what I say goes.
Not if I find the Scythe of Justice, then you're toast.
Big if for a little man. Time to take your lumps.
There's one problem, Mr. Boss. You can't fight me if you can't see me. I turned invisible right in front of Mr. Boss's face, then ran for the hills. I still wasn't strong enough to fight him just yet. From day 36 to day 39, I returned back to my base, feeling relieved that I'd managed to once again get away from Mr. Boss with my life. I don't want any more close calls like that. I need to be more careful. When I got settled back in, I decided to speak to the Orange Pixies about their knowledge of the Scythe of Justice. Please, tell me everything you know, Orange Pixies. Even the tiniest details might be useful.
According to our legends, the Scythe of Justice once resided in the forest, but it doesn't anymore. It was used by a great hero once in the past, and we believe this great hero may have left it among the dunes. You may have more luck finding it there.
The dunes, that's perfect. I'll go there soon. Thank you, Orange Pixies.
Don't mention it. Oh, one other thing. We couldn't help but notice you're making a statue. While we were waiting for you to come back, we decided to add a little to it. Mind taking a look, just to make sure we did it right?
I went to take a look and was so happy to find that the Orange Pixies had done an amazing job. It was even better than I could have imagined. You've done a fantastic job, guys. Thank you so much for your help. From day 40 to day 43, I was working on some improvements around my base when I saw a traveling scribe approaching the base. He came up, and I decided to talk to him. Hey, Mr. Scribe, what brings you here?
I heard you're trying to take down Mr. Boss. He hasn't exactly been kind to me in the past, so I'm gonna give you some advice. Head to the Crag Gardens and go west. You'll find some diamonds that will help you on your quest.
That sounded like a good tip to me, so I went back to the Crag Gardens and went on a search west for the diamonds. But on the way, I ran into a dangerous Myrmex Queen, an insect-like monster who is definitely not friendly. Ugh, and I'm afraid of bugs at the best of times. This is the worst. Thankfully, she wasn't as strong as she looked, and I managed to take her down without too much trouble. Phew, I feel a lot safer now. It dropped Myrmex meat. Not sure that it's going to be tasty, but I am running out of apples, so I'm taking it. I continued my search west until, just as the scribe said, I found a bunch of diamonds scattered across the ground. Exactly what I needed. I traveled back to the base with the diamonds and crafted myself an awesome diamond sword. I can't wait to show this to Mr. Boss. He won't want to mess with me now. The Myrmex meat actually tasted better when cooked than I expected, although I think Gordon Ramsay would disagree. From day 44 to day 49, I headed out to the dunes. I hope I can find the Scythe of Justice out here. Now, if I was the Scythe of Justice, where would I be? As I was exploring and looking around the dunes for any sign of the Scythe, I spotted a Vindicator chef being attacked by a Gorgon. He was doing his best to fend off her attacks, but he was definitely in danger. Hey, you leave him alone! I grabbed my diamond sword and rushed in to help the Vindicator chef. With my help, we were able to defeat the Gorgon together. Phew, I'm glad I came along.
So am I. That was a real kitchen nightmare. I thought my goose was cooked. Is there anything I can do to thank you? I make a mean lasagna.
Thank you. Actually, there is something. Have you heard anything about a Scythe of Justice?
As a matter of fact, I met an iceologer when I was on a real experimental ice cream kick. Did you know mustard ice cream isn't very good? Anyway, he mentioned something about a scythe. Maybe he can point you in the right direction. He lives at the top of that dune over there.
Thanks! From day 50 to day 53, I followed the directions given to me by the Vindicator chef. Hello, is there an iceologer around here somewhere?
No iceologer here, only your certain doom.
The illusioner appeared in front of me, firing an energy blast right at me. Oh no, not you again!
Yes, Zozo, it is I. You have eluded me for too long, and now it is time to taste defeat.
No thanks, I'm not hungry. He attacked me again, but I was ready for him. And this time, I was able to defeat him for good. I felt great. Now, where was I? I looked around and spotted a little house on top of the dune. Hello? The chef sent me. I'm Zozo. I'm looking for the Scythe of Justice. The iceologer came out of the house to greet me.
Hi, Zozo. Nice to meet you. I'm afraid I have some bad news, though. Mr. Boss's goons came through here and took the scythe away earlier today.
Oh no!
But here, let me give you something. I hope it helps.
He handed me a splash potion of healing. I was feeling pretty discouraged about the scythe, but with the illusioner finally defeated, I knew I was making progress. I couldn't lose hope yet. From day 54 to day 57, I traveled back to my base. The mountaineer was waiting for me.
Welcome back, Zozo. Hey, while you were gone, I decided to fix up the place a little bit. Take a look around. Let me know what you think.
I walked around and checked things out. He added some guard towers. These will be great for protecting the base. Thanks so much for your help.
Glad you like them.
Just then, Dottie the dodo hippogriff came running up to me.
Zozo, thank goodness you're back. I need your help. I left my multi-tool on the forest vault. Can you help me get it back? I'd go myself, but I don't have any fighting experience if the bad guys show up.
Sure, I'll go look for it now. I headed over to the forest vault and searched for the multi-tool. Hey, there it is. I grabbed it for Dottie and brought it back to my base without running into any trouble. Here you go.
Thank you, Zozo. Here, while you were gone, I found this for you. It's a flaming bow. Maybe you can use it.
From day 58 to day 62, one of the orange pixies came and woke me up.
Good morning, Zozo. Sorry to wake you, but I'm just too excited. Please, come and see the work we've done on the statue. It looks so good.
I went to check out the statue, and it was true. It looked awesome. This is so cool. Thank you for your hard work on it. But I didn't get to admire the statue for long. A group of skeleton vanguards ambushed me, and the orange pixie attacking us.
Well. Looks like Loser here got himself a loser statue.
It's an awesome statue. You're just mean. I did my best to fight them off, but I couldn't stop them from destroying the orange pixie. No, how could you?
It's fun to be bad. Duh.
I couldn't let them get away with that. I summoned the strength to keep fighting, and I defeated all of them except for one, who managed to get away and run off into the woods. I won't let them or Mr. Boss get away with this. From day 63 to day 66, I chased the runaway skeleton vanguard all the way to the dunes. The dunes? What's he doing all the way out here? As I looked around, I spotted an empty chest. Hey, I wonder if the scythe used to be in here. Then, of course, the vanguard popped up behind me.
Don't bother looking for the Scythe of Justice. It's long gone, hidden in a place where you'll never be able to find it. It's in the forest vault, but you'll never get it back. Ever. Oh, you're gonna cry about it?
There's nothing wrong with crying when you're sad, but no, not right now. First, I'm gonna fight you. I drew my sword and attacked the skeleton vanguard. This time, I was ready, and he couldn't surprise me. I was able to hit him with the flame bow and avenge the orange pixie. From day 67 to day 70, I traveled to the forest vault again. But this time, it looked different. Mr. Boss and his goons had definitely been here, and there was a squall golem standing at the entrance to the area.
Tiny, pathetic, showing up in places he shouldn't. You must be Zozo.
I'm not any of those things. Well, I am Zozo, but none of the other ones.
Run on home before I have to teach you a painful lesson.
Not without the Scythe of Justice! He just laughed at me, then rushed forward and attacked. I tried my best to fight back, but he was much stronger than me, and I was worried I wouldn't make it out of this one alive. He knocked me back. Uh-oh, I'm in over my head here. But I didn't have another choice. I had to keep doing my best. I climbed back to my feet and hoped my trusty diamond sword would be enough to save me. I dodged the squall golem's next attack and got the better of him.
Ow! That hurt, you little brat.
Before I could finish the fight, he ran off and disappeared from sight. No time to go after him. I have to get the scythe. From day 71 to day 74, I entered the forest vault to look for the Scythe of Justice. But there was nothing there. All I could find was a note.
Oops, guess you were too late. No scythe for Zozo. I took it for myself.
Too bad. So sad. Signed, Mr. Boss.
Oh no, he already took it! I'll have to keep looking and find another way to defeat Mr. Boss! From day 75 to day 78, I returned to my base to try and figure out my next step. When I got there, the Mountaineer was waiting for me.
Hey, Zozo, you look kinda sad. What's wrong?
Mr. Boss took the scythe before I could get it. I'm so disappointed.
Maybe seeing some of these improvements I made to the base will make you feel better. Come check it out.
He had added banners and shelves while I was gone. Wow, these really tie the room together. Nice job.
Oh, also, I went out exploring and I found this.
Whoa, netherite ore! I can use this to upgrade my sword. I took the netherite ore and used it to craft a netherite sword. This is great! Thank you so much!
Oh, what a nice moment. Too bad I have to destroy you now.
The Squall Golem! He was back! But this time, I had a new, stronger sword to fight him with. When he attacked me, I dodged and came back at him with the netherite sword. Before too long, I had defeated the Squall Golem. I felt myself getting stronger, and my hearts increased to 60. I feel like I got a new skill. I concentrated and found out that I had a lightning strike ability now. After that, I spotted something on the ground. He must have dropped this. Hey, a map to the Black Forest. Guess I know where I'm headed next. From day 79 to day 84, I followed the map and traveled to the Black Forest. There's an X on this map. That usually means something important. Let's see, where's the X?
Halt! Who goes there?
A royal guard was blocking my path. I'm Zozo.
Are you a goon of Mr. Boss?
Heck no, I'm trying to defeat that guy.
Fortuitous. I require help from a noble hero. I have misplaced a very important chest that holds something dear to my heart. Would you aid me in my search? In return, I can provide information about Mr. Boss.
Sure, I'll look for it. I searched all over the Black Forest and finally found the chest. I opened it and found a gold sword inside. I brought it back to the guard.
My lucky sword! Thank you! My mother gave this to me. I would be so upset if I lost it for good. Mr. Boss's base is located on the edge of the ancient forest.
That's near my base. Way too close for comfort. I'll have to make sure I'm really ready when it's time to face him. Hey, do you want to come back to my base with me?
I must attend to my royal duties, but thank you for your kind offer.
On my way back to my base, I stopped by the secret cabin to visit the Windcaller. Hey, I was wondering if you knew anything about Mr. Boss that might be helpful. I just found out he lives in the forest, not too far from my base, so I need to get ready fast.
As a matter of fact, yes, you should know that Mr. Boss is very vain, famously so. He can't stand it if someone makes fun of his amethyst crystal growing out of his back. If you insult his crystal, he will become distracted and upset. This will allow you to catch him off guard and may be the difference between victory and defeat.
Insulting his crystal? Good to know. Thanks for your help. From day 90 to day 94, I knew I needed to get to work upgrading my armor if I was going to be ready to take on Mr. Boss. So I headed down into the underground cavern and started mining. I mined harder than I'd ever mined before. My hard work paid off because I found some diamonds. Perfect! Rushed back to my base with the diamonds and used them to craft a full set of diamond armor. I'd like to see Mr. Boss try and beat me with this gear. From day 95 to day 97, the Mountaineer came to talk to me.
Zozo, I have great news. We're almost finished with the statue. There's only one piece left that needs to be put in place, and we wanted you to be the one to do it.
Really? Me?
Yeah, it's your base, it's your statue. It would mean a lot for you to be the one to finish it.
I followed him to the statue, and it really looked amazing. He handed me the last piece, and I placed it on the statue. And I stepped back and looked up at it. Wow! The sight of that giant elemental Enderman towering above me reminded me what I was fighting for. My species, the elements, and the world. It was a world worth fighting for, and I was going to try my very best. On day 98, I walked around my base, trying to get ready for my face-off with Mr. Boss.
Zozo, I was looking for you. I wanted to talk to you about this Mr. Boss fight. I just wanted to say that you're gonna do great, and if you need any help, I can join you in the fight.
Thank you, but I think I need to face him alone.
I understand.
Dottie the Dodo Hippogriff came to see me next.
Zozo, I know you're nervous, but you can do this.
The good guy always wins, even when it seems like an impossible fight.
Thanks. We'll see how it turns out. And if you want to see more Zozo adventures, hit subscribe and ring the bell to make sure you don't miss them. I went to see the Pixies, both pink and orange.
Zozo, thank you for everything you've done so far. It's been an honor to help you.
It really has. Go show that mean Mr. Boss that nice guys don't have to finish last, and that being mean never pays in the long run.
You all believing in me so much really makes me feel like I can do it. On day 99, I traveled to Mr. Boss's base. It wasn't a very long walk. It had been nearby the whole time. I headed inside, ready for the fight of my life. Immediately, I was attacked by skeleton vanguards.
Hey, you weren't invited to this party. Get lost. Scram!
They attacked me, but with my new armor and my new sword, I was able to defeat them. After I finished with the skeletons, I saw a cage filled with elemental endermen. There you all are. I knew it. I'm not all alone. I have you guys. I let them out of the cage and showed them which way to run to escape. I'll see you all again soon. I have to finish this first. On day 100, I continued fighting my way through Mr. Boss's base. Out of nowhere, a squall golem appeared to attack me.
I've had just about enough of you.
He rushed at me with a melee attack, but my armor protected me from his damage. Ha! I was ready for you this time. I fought hard, rushing at him before he could attack again, and before I knew it, I had won. He dropped something when he went down, and I grabbed it. I can't believe it. It's the Scythe of Justice, just in time for me to need it the most. I did a quick little celebratory dance, then continued my way through the base. Finally, I reached Mr. Boss's room.
I see you made it through my guards. I'm surprised. I thought you'd give up sooner for sure. Well, since you're here, I guess we'll get right to it.
He concentrated hard and started to transform. He grew into a bigger, stronger version of himself. Uh-oh. But I couldn't get discouraged now. I grabbed the Scythe of Justice and stood tall. Literally, I felt my bravery making me grow taller as I got bigger and stronger too. My hearts increased to 90, and I realized I had gained a new ability too. I was ready for the ultimate showdown. It was a tough fight. I was stronger, but so was Mr. Boss. As he knocked me back into the wall, I remembered what I had learned. Hey, what is that growing out of your back? It looks like a zit. Wait, it's supposed to be a crystal. Yikes.
What did you say about my amethyst crystal? How dare you? That is one of my finest possessions.
While he was distracted, I used my new ability, Sun God Blast. I unleashed the power of the sun, and Mr. Boss was defeated once and for all. With no more bad guys left to defeat, I traveled back home to my base, where my friends and family were all waiting for me. The Pixies were dancing, Dottie and the Mountaineer were eating pie, and all of the elemental endermen were waiting to tell me all about the elements. Yeah, things are gonna be good from now on. On day 1, I spawned into the red desert as Diamond Venom, the symbiote with major swag. Whoa, and I've started with 20 hearts? That must be because of my diamond hard skin. Even though I'm a baby Venom, I'm one tough baby. But I didn't get to enjoy all this for long. Before I knew it, a bunch of heavily armored royal guards were running towards me.
Yeah, he looks like one of the escapees. We need to get him back into containment before Agent Horace finds out he's here.
Escapees? But I didn't escape. I'm Zozo, and I just spawned here.
Oh, we've heard that one before, bub. Come with us, you sparkly symbiote. We'll be forced to use extreme, force.
I really didn't want to get into a fight straight away, especially over a misunderstanding, so I ran as fast as my little diamond venom legs would carry me. Uh-oh, it looks like I might not be fast enough. As I was running, I suddenly noticed that more royal guards had me backed up into a corner. Symbiotes are powerful, but as just a baby and without any weapons, there was no way I could take all these guys on. Can't we just talk this out? I promise I won't misbehave. I think this is a huge misunderstanding.
Don't worry, kid. We'll talk it out when we have you back in containment. Come along now. We don't want to hurt you if we don't have to.
And with that, the gang of royal guards led me off to who knows where. This isn't turning out to be a very successful first day. On day 2, the royal guards escorted me into what looked like a kind of small secret research lab in the middle of the desert.
Welcome to Area 52, son. This is where we keep all the secret things for research and testing, and that includes you.
but I don't even know what you guys think I did.
That's for us to know, and you to probably never find out. Now get in this cell over here. We'll check your paperwork and deal with you later.
They made me go into a cell where a huge, kind of intimidating redstone golem was waiting for me.
Oh, shiny. What are you in for, Mac?
Honestly, I don't even know. I feel like the right to a fair trial should have been given to us. They can't just lock us away like this.
You're here to that, buddy. I'm Robbie. Robbie the Redstone Golem. You?
I'm Zozo, and don't worry, Robbie. I'm gonna bust both of us out of here.
But how?
You see, one of the powers of the symbiote is super strength. Watch! With my powerful diamond fists, I busted down the wall of the cell leading to the outside. And before any of the royal guards could even notice, Robbie and I escaped out into the desert.
That was amazing, Zozo. We should probably go our separate ways now, so that those goons can't catch us, but I hope we run into each other again.
Same here, Robbie. Happy travels! And with that, we both ran off in different directions. On day 3, I ran further into the desert, trying to put as much distance between myself and Area 52 as possible. I never want to have to go back there, if I can avoid it. But as I was running away, my diamond venom stomach started to rumble. Oh no, this isn't good. Symbiotes are meat eaters, so I need to get my hands on some good protein as soon as possible. Lucky for me, there were some desert chickens waiting around, and they just looked too delicious for me to resist. I attacked them until I was left with some yummy raw chicken on my hands, which I ate with gusto. That's finger-licking good. My hunger sated, I kept on walking until I ran into another lone figure in the desert. It was a warden.
Hello there, Zozo.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I know a lot of things. Perks of the job. I'm Agent Warden. Nice to meet you.
Agent? Oh no, you're with Area 52. You're gonna try to capture me.
I used to be with them, but now I've gone rogue. Believe me, Zozo, we're on the same team. Come with me. I'll tell you everything you want to know.
That was an offer too good to refuse, so I followed Agent Warden through the desert. From day 4 to day 5, we arrived in an isolated base in the middle of the Black Forest, so deep and dark that nobody would ever find it unless they knew what they were looking for.
Welcome to my secret base, Zozo. And I do mean secret. If you tell anyone about this, I'll be forced to destroy you.
Noted. Jeez, this guy is intense.
I heard that.
No, you didn't. When we were inside, Agent Warden started telling me the whole horrible truth about what people were up to at Area 52.
You were lucky to escape with your life, Zozo. They're monstrous people. They capture and experiment on everyone who's different, trying to take their special powers and use them for their own gain. I used to be part of their whole organization until I decided enough was enough. I needed to take them down, and over the next 100 days, you can help me take them down.
After what they did to me and Robbie, I'm happy to lend a hand in taking these bad guys down.
That's the spirit. But we can't be seen together, Zozo. If we are, there's too much of a risk we'll both get taken out. Take this stone sword, axe, and stone pickaxe. Go make your own secret base. We'll talk again soon.
My instructions were clear. I took the sword, axe, and pickaxe and left, going deep into the Black Forest. I cut down some trees to make a clearing and mined some stone. Then I started building myself a basic base to spend the night, adding a nice furnished room and a bed to make myself feel safe from the mobs at night. I stood back to appreciate my small and proud base, and I was really pleased with my work. But then, I heard some royal guards coming towards the forest.
There's that diamond venom! Get him!
Stay away from my base, guys, or you're gonna find out that I'm really a lethal protector. They didn't listen. Instead, they charged in, and I used my super strength to beat the living stuffing out of them. That's what you get for messing with the diamond symbiote. And giving those royal guards a beatdown also gave me enough XP to level up, becoming bigger, stronger, and amazingly, having 50 hearts. And it looks like I can use my super strong symbiote arms to climb walls. I climbed the walls of my little base and sat on the roof, admiring the beautiful scenery of the Black Forest. From day 6 to day 8, I continued working on my base, adding some couches and bookshelves to my living area. When I took a break, none other than Robbie the Redstone Golem came walking through the forest, right next to my base. I was happy to see him again. Robbie, I'm so happy to see you again. How are things going with you?
Sadly, not good, man. I've been looking for a place to crash, but 2 of the villages I've tried to visit were already destroyed by the time I turned up.
Destroyed? That's terrible.
You said it, man. Something awful is going on out here. You need to stay safe. I'm gonna keep moving, and you should keep your eyes peeled.
Stay safe out there, Robbie. Robbie left, and I was feeling more confused and afraid than ever. I needed to go and speak to Agent Warden as soon as possible. I ran to a secret base and told him everything that Robbie had told me.
Then it seems the situation is already graver than I first thought. I have a few classified missions I need to perform myself, but in the meantime, head to the Sierra Valley and scope it out for any unusual activity. Together, we can stop the worst of this insidious plan before it even starts.
Yes, sir. I'll do whatever I need to.
That's a great attitude, Zozo. Do everything I say, and you'll go far.
From day 9 to day 10, I did exactly what Agent Warden said and made my way out to the Sierra Valley to investigate. I just needed to find out if anything unusual was happening out here. Doesn't look like anything weird is happening out here. Oh, other than that. As it turned out, I hadn't noticed the huge armored piglin running towards me. Yeah, that's certainly pretty unusual. I began to battle the zombified armored piglin, but he was way tougher than the royal guards. Even with all my hearts and my diamond hard skin, he still had me on the ropes. Until suddenly, an armored pillager ran in and shot the zombified armored piglin with a bow and arrow. The second the arrow hit the creature, it seemingly got a lot weaker, and one more strike from my stone sword was enough to defeat it. That was awesome! You really saved my life there. Thank you, armored pillager.
Don't mention it. I've never seen anyone like you. You really can fight. I've got a gang of sellswords who operate out here in the valley. We could use someone like you if you wanted to sign up. It'd be good work and good pay.
It definitely sounds tempting, but I can't right now. I'm sorry. I'm on an incredibly important mission from Agent Warden.
Who?
It doesn't surprise me that you haven't heard of him. He's incredibly secretive. But I'll let him know we had this talk. Thank you again for the help. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to Agent Warden's secret base and told him all about what happened in the Sierra Valley with the piglin and the armored pillager who saved my life. But by the end of the story, Agent Warden didn't seem happy with me.
You even told him my name? You can't do that, Zozo. I thought I told you my mission was top secret. Can you not even follow the most basic of instructions?
I'm so sorry, Agent Warden. I didn't know it would upset you so much. I promise I won't tell anyone else your name. I'll keep your missions top secret.
Good. That's more like it. For your next mission, I need you to go to the Sierra Valley again, the north specifically, and find your way to a research base hidden out there. They're puppets of Area 52, carrying out their evil bidding. If you value your freedom, you'll gather all the information about them you can.
Yes, Agent Warden. I won't let you down this time. But that mission sounded dangerous, so before I could take it on, I needed to upgrade my gear. That's why I ventured down into an abandoned mine in the Black Forest to collect some iron. I mined until I had enough iron ore, which I then smelted into ingots in an abandoned furnace and crafted into a full set of iron armor, an iron sword, iron axe, and iron pickaxe. But it wasn't all easy. I was detected and attacked by a bunch of spiders while I was down there. This is what I get for shining bright like a diamond. It didn't take me long to defeat the spiders with my iron sword. Then it was time to prove myself to Agent Warden once again. From day 13 to day 15, I ventured out through the Sierra Valley until I found what looked like a small research base. It was crawling with scientists. Guess it's time to play detective and ask some tough questions. I snuck in and found one of the researchers alone. I cornered him and used my intimidating diamond venom look to get his undivided attention. Listen here, you're gonna tell me everything you know about your bosses at Area 52, or else! What? Area 52 aren't our bosses? Liar! I have it on good authority that you do all their evil bidding, so you better start telling the truth. I am telling the truth. The only time we ever collaborated was on the Warden project. Wait, the what project? I've told you too much already. Just please leave me alone. Yes, I will. I'm so sorry for bothering you. I left the research base and started heading across the Sierra Valley. Something about all of this was terribly wrong, and I needed to get some answers from Agent Warden immediately. From day 16 to day 19, I made my way through the Black Forest back to Agent Warden's secret base as quickly as possible. But on the way, I ran into Robbie the Redstone Golem again. Robbie, what's wrong this time?
Zozo, I found out some terrifying news, and I needed to tell you as soon as possible.
The one who's been destroying whole villages is some kind of genetically enhanced warden, and he lives in this forest.
Genetically enhanced warden? Oh no, no! I've had this all wrong! I need to get back to that research base and warn them! But by the time I'd crossed the Sierra Valley and reached the research base, it was already too late. The research base was in ruins, and who else was standing in the rubble but Agent Warden? I decided to rush in and confront him. Agent Warden, how could you? Why are you doing this? These people aren't under the orders of Area 52 at all!
Oh, Zozo, as naive and small-minded as ever. You really are a diamond venom in the rough, aren't you?
I don't know the full extent of your evil plan, but one thing I do know is that I'm not going to be a part of it, whatever awful thing you want to do.
Be careful, Zozo. If you're not with me, you're against me.
Then I guess I'm against you. You're about to find out just how strong a diamond venom really is.
But Zozo, all symbiotes like you have two weaknesses: fire and sound!
Agent Warden unleashed a hugely powerful sonic boom out of his chest. It was a direct hit on me, and as soon as it connected, I fell unconscious. From day 20 to day 22, I woke up in the ruins of the Sierra Valley research base. Agent Warden was gone, and it looked like there was only one surviving scientist, the same one I'd interrogated earlier.
You there, Zozo, was it? I'm Dr. Hardy. I saw that you tried to defend us against that terrible monster, and even though the destruction he caused was awful, it means a lot to know you're on our side.
I'm still so sorry I couldn't help more, Dr. Hardy. I have no idea why Agent Warden just turned like that, but I have a feeling that if we work together, we can find out why. Want to come stay at my base and team up?
That sounds like an excellent idea, Zozo. I want to get back against this monster any way I can.
Dr. Hardy and I returned to my base, and I began working on a new room for him. It had an area for him to sleep, and an area for him to conduct any scientific experiments he needed to.
Thank you, Zozo. This will do nicely.
From day 23 to day 26, I made a trek back to the Red Desert, where I originally spawned, to see if I missed anything. If I was wrong about Agent Warden, I've got to make sure I pay more attention to things from now on. I carefully looked around and noticed there was an isolager in trouble.
Someone, please! I need a protector!
An armored skeleton was running them down, and it seemed like it would catch them soon. I had to do something. Don't worry, Diamond Venom is here. I jumped into the path of the armored skeleton and hit him with my iron sword. It got his attention, but he wasn't looking that damaged from the attack. I had succeeded at making the armored skeleton attack me instead of the isolager, but now it seemed I would have to deal with a strong and fast mob all on my own. It wasn't an easy fight, but in the end, I took home the W. The isolager was delighted.
That was amazing. We make a good team.
You said it, isolager. It's almost like a symbiotic relationship. Like a symbiote. Defeating the armored skeleton to save that isolager had reminded me of my true strength and caused my powers to evolve. I now had 75 hearts and could dash to quickly close the gap with enemies. From day 27 to day 31, I was still in the Red Desert when I came across a herd of sheep. They were looking for grass to eat, but couldn't find any. I guess they must have been lost. This way, sheep, there's plenty of grass to graze on in the Black Forest. Back at the base, I made sure to build a pen for the sheep around some of that delicious grass I mentioned. Delicious for sheep, at least. This Diamond Venom is on an all-meat diet. Later on, I was walking through the base when I ran into the isolager I had protected in the desert.
Hey, Zozo! Thanks again for your help the other day.
Hey, isolager, when did you get here?
Oh, I've been here for a while. I noticed you have some scientists doing research here, so I thought I could help out in a big way. Follow me.
I followed the isolager to another part of the base and saw what he was talking about. He had upgraded the base with a research watchtower. The scientists are gonna love this. Meanwhile, somewhere in a secret place, Agent Warden was plotting the next phase of the Warden project. And whatever that entailed was probably super evil.
Everything is going according to my super secret plan. That's because you're so good at being evil, Warden. I agree, Pigless. Soon it will be time for you to play your role in how things proceed. It is an honor to serve you, sir. Piglets will make sure your every order is carried out without fail.
From day 32 to day 35, I went to Area 52 to see if I could get any more answers out of the Royal Guards. Even if they didn't know anything else about what Agent Warden was up to, I could still reason with them and form an alliance.
Ah, it's Diamond Venom! There's no reasoning with him! Battle formation!
The Royal Guards fought against me, but I defended myself by using my armor to reduce the damage from their attacks. Hold it, guys! I really think we can work this out.
He's trying to reason with us. I guess we were wrong about him. That's the first time we've been wrong about anything.
The Royal Guards took me to the office of their top agent, Agent Horace.
So, you must be that Diamond Venom that escaped from my holding cell a while back. It's a shame I never got to meet you in person.
Is that because you were going to do some uncalled for experiments on me?
What? No! What do you think we do around here? We thought that a diamond symbiote like you had the potential to be turned towards the side of good. That's why we brought you here.
I'm glad you guys weren't up to anything sinister. You definitely could have been nicer about it, though.
The kinds of superpowered monsters we deal with, it's hard not to go overboard, especially after the Warden project made us responsible for another monster.
You mean Agent Warden? What is he up to?
I can tell you it's something most secretive and most definitely sinister. We've been keeping tabs on him, but he's operating in the shadows now.
I want to help you take him down. He betrayed me, and I don't like that kind of thing.
Good. We could use a Venom like you on our side. Until Agent Warden is defeated, we'll make you a temporary secret agent.
Agent Diamond Venom. I like the sound of that. From day 36 to day 39, I went mining for iron to fix up my armor. If I'm going to be playing the part of a secret agent, I should look like I've got the best gear. I dug down deep into the mining area and managed to strike iron. There was plenty of iron to go around, enough to fix my entire set of iron armor. There were some diamonds down there as well. I must have had a knack for finding them because I was a Diamond Venom myself. Diamonds are a diamond's best friend. Wait, what did I say? The diamonds weren't even the rarest treasure that I found in the mine. The honor went to the powerful battle axe that I found lodged in a wall. I went above ground with the spoils of my mining excursion and fixed up my armor. I finished just in time for the iceologer to come in and talk to me.
Hey, Zozo!
Actually, it's Agent Zozo.
Right. Anyway, I was thinking we should expand our team. There's someone I want you to go talk to. They should be waiting for you at the Shattered Glacier.
From day 40 to day 43, I went to the Shattered Glacier where the iceologer said I could meet our new contact. I was surprised and relieved to see that it was my old friend Robbie the Redstone Golem.
I heard Area 52 made you a temporary agent. They are no friends of mine, but it's good to see that you're moving up in the world.
Whatever it takes to stop that rampaging Agent Warden. What did you call me here to talk about?
I wanted to ask if I could join your supergroup. Even if we're only working together in secret, this world needs protectors.
I was about to ask him what he had in mind when a giant pigman ran towards us and stopped right next to us. It was Pigless, the new minion that was sent by Agent Warden.
You were too easy to follow, Diamond Venom. Time to carry out Agent Warden's orders.
And what would those be?
There's no point in asking me that question. I'm not telling you.
Pigless smashed a big hole in the ground to show off how strong he was. He's tough, Robbie. Do you think we could take him if we teamed up?
Maybe, but for now, we should get somewhere safe to have the rest of our conversation.
I nodded, and the two of us ran away as Pigless continued to smash his way across the Shattered Glacier. From day 44 to day 49, I was lying low in my base when I was visited by Agent Horace. He really must have been the top agent because I didn't even see him come in.
Agent Zozo, I've got some key intel and a new assignment for you.
Took you long enough. This Diamond Venom is on the job, whatever it is.
There is an object known as the Destroyer, which was once in our possession at Area 52. We believe that in the right hands, it has the power to take down any bad guy.
Even Agent Warden?
Now, Diamond Venom, just focus on finding the Destroyer and getting it to us. We'll handle the rest.
Where can I find the Destroyer?
It was last sighted in the Sierra Valley biome. You should head back there and search for it.
Won't let you down, Agent Horace. From day 50 to day 53, on Horace's orders, I went to the Sierra Valley biome to learn more about the Destroyer. It looked like I wasn't the only agent on the case. A royal guard was already here, probably sent by Horace too. Hey there, Agent. I'm Agent Zozo. I'm looking for the Destroyer too.
Shh, keep your voice down. We don't know who's listening. I'll tell you what I know about the Destroyer, but you need a promise to keep it a secret.
I promise.
The truth about the Destroyer is that we made it in Area 52 using some rare materials from another dimension. Those materials are what gave the item its unmatched destructive power.
What were the materials? And what dimension did they come from?
That's classified. The point is, we were so impressed by these materials that we started to use them on a different project, the WARDEN project.
Let me guess, that was how Agent Warden got his superpowers.
It was what made him a supervillain. The materials gave him destructive sonic abilities that were out of control. That's why we need a weapon like the Destroyer to take him out.
I understand now. You keep looking around here. I'm gonna go back to the base for now. I left the Royal Guard to keep searching. That's when I saw a battle between an Iron Chicken and a skeleton. The Iron Chicken looked like she would make a good addition to the super group I was forming with the others. I went to help her in the fight, but the Iron Chicken had already won by the time I even got a hit in. Whoa, you're strong. Do you want to join my superhero team?
Sorry, Diamond Venom, but Iron Chicken works alone.
She ran off right after saying that. I guess not everyone wants to team up with me. From day 54 to day 57, I was traveling through the Red Desert when I ran into none other than Pigless, Agent Warden's big brute of a henchman. What do you want, Pigless?
I only want what Agent Warden orders me to want. That's how loyal of a henchman I am.
Okay, and what does Agent Warden want?
He ordered me to take out the trash, and the trash is you.
Pigless hit me hard, sending me flying across the desert. His super strength was so much stronger than mine, and I was practically super duper strength. I fought back, but I was losing a lot of hearts to the big pig's punches.
You really are trash. Just call me the trash compactor.
Actually, I prefer to be recycled, and by that I mean live to fight another day. I knew I couldn't win, so I ran away from Pigless. He might have been strong, but sure was slow. While his henchman was keeping me busy, Agent Warden was in his secret base, developing a personal teleporter that would take him between dimensions at will.
Once I harness the true destructive contained in the other dimensions, I will be unstoppable.
From day 58 to day 62, I met with the scientist who's been living in my base to see what he's been up to. How's the research been going, Dr. Hardy?
I've got amazing things to tell you about Zozo. The statue I've been working on is really coming along. It'll be one of the great achievements when we're done building it.
Awesome work!
There is one slight issue though. I've run out of building materials. Do you think you could fetch us more?
Of course, I was just heading down to the mine anyway. I returned to where I had been mining before and dug further into the area with the diamonds. I was determined to get even more of them so I could get a complete set of diamond gear to match my diamond body. I also made sure to get more stone and iron while I was there so the scientists could continue work on the statue. Once I had enough of everything, I left the mine and gave the scientists what they had been looking for. Then I went to the crafting table and made myself a diamond sword, diamond boots, and a diamond helmet. Diamond Venom is more diamond than ever! From day 63 to day 66, I received another visit from Agent Horace. He must really want me to find that destroyer. I looked around like you told me to, but I haven't found it anywhere.
That's all right, Agent Zozo. The Royal Guards and I have done that part of the job ourselves. We have reason to believe that the destroyer somehow crossed dimensions back to where it originally came from.
The destroyer is in another dimension?
Yes, in another world known as the End.
How can I get there from here?
Take a look at this portal we installed in your base.
Agent Horace led me to an incomplete end portal, which at the moment wasn't working. I wonder where they even got this portal, but I didn't want to question Agent Horace. What do I have to do in order to reactivate the end portal?
No idea. We've never gotten any farther than this, but if it does activate, you should let us know post-haste.
From day 67 to day 70, I kept an eye on the end portal that Area 52 had installed in my base. There were no signs of activity, and I wondered if I would ever get the chance to get the destroyer. I was relieved of this duty when Robbie the Redstone Golem showed up again. Hey Robbie, what are you up to?
We've got ourselves a new objective, Zozo. There's some trouble down at the Shattered Glacier, and we should go help out.
What's the problem?
One dangerous mob called the Skeleton Jackal might be a new supervillain.
Leave it to me, Robbie. I arrived at the Shattered Glacier and saw exactly what Robbie was talking about. The Skeleton Jackal had claimed the Shattered Glacier as his own territory.
Diamond Venom, you're too late. I, the Skeleton Jackal, will soon be the most powerful new villain out there.
Sorry, but I already have an arch nemesis, and he's not you.
I'll make you take me seriously.
The skeleton jackal attacked me with his claws, but I fought back with my trusty battle axe. We were evenly matched in damage, but my diamond armor and diamond skin made my defenses that much stronger.
You might be durable, Diamond Venom, but this fight isn't over by a long shot.
Stop this! We don't have to fight! What if instead of a villain, you decided to be an anti-hero? You can still be scary, but you also get to do the right thing.
Anti-hero, huh? I guess I could give it a try.
Wow, it worked! Welcome to the team, Skeleton Jackal. From day 71 to day 74, my base was under attack by Pigless, who was using his brute force to smash giant holes into the surrounding terrain.
Piggy power!
Stop it, Pigless! I used my dash ability and started swinging my battle axe at Pigless, inflicting damage on him.
Ouch! That axe hurts! Can I have it?
Pigless punched me, causing me to drop the battle axe. He picked it up himself and started swinging it at me. I equipped my diamond sword and continued to fight, but Pigless was even more deadly with the battle axe in his hand. Give that back, it's not yours.
It is now. Eat this.
Pigless wound up a big punch and sent me careening straight into a hill and caused me to get heavily dazed. When I got back up, he was already gone. It was no use trying to get my battle axe back now. It looked like my base was totally wrecked too. Pigless! I was really sad, so I went to the river to be alone for a bit. After a while, Isolager came by to cheer me up.
Hey, Zozo, I know you're feeling down about losing your weapon, but I've rebuilt the base and added a perimeter wall to keep out future attacks.
You're the best, Isolager. I'm glad you're part of my supergroup. Meanwhile, back at Agent Warden's base, my arch nemesis had gained the powers of the interdimensional energies he was attempting to harness.
Area 52 thought I was a mistake and tried to destroy me. Their real mistake was not going further with their experiments.
From day 75 to day 78, Agent Horus came to check on the base and give me a brand new weapon to replace my battle axe, the Javelin.
We heard what happened with Pigless. It sounds like you've really gotten on Agent Warden's bad side.
That Pigless is a real menace. He's going down, just like Agent Warden.
You're in luck. We've got the location of Agent Warden's secret base. We figured we'd send you over there to do some real damage.
I'll do more than that. This might just be business for Area 52, but it's always personal for me. I took the Javelin and set off through the Black Forest toward Agent Warden's secret base. If Pigless was there, I'd be sure to get my revenge from last time. From day 79 to day 84, I was sneaking around the outside of Agent Warden's secret base, and sure enough, I found exactly who I was looking for, Pigless.
Agent Zozo! Looks like recycling day came early. I'll break you down like a cardboard box.
You're the one who's gonna be broken, Pigless. I threw my javelin at Pigless, catching him off guard, and then I used the opportunity to hit him a bunch of times with my diamond sword.
Not bad. I didn't expect that new weapon. But did you really forget your old weapon so soon?
No, please, Pigless, anything but battle axe! Pigless swung the battle axe that he stole from me, taking off a ton of hearts. He was wielding the weapon as if it was meant for him. Once again, my diamond sword couldn't stand up to him, especially since my super strength was weaker than his.
I really like being a henchman, you know. When I secretly get rid of someone, Agent Warden rewards me with treasure. I wonder how rich I'll be after I deal with you.
Oh no, am I going to lose? As Pigless prepared to deliver the decisive blow with my own battle axe, I heard a voice from the trees. It was the skeleton jackal.
Zozo, don't forget that you're Diamond Venom, a shining inspiration to anti-heroes everywhere.
You're right. Inspired by Skeleton Jackal's words, I grew into a form powerful enough to take on Pigless, even with the battle axe. I had 100 hearts and diamond venom claws that were stronger than any diamond sword. With my new form, he was dropped in no time.
Well, I did the best I could, but sometimes a henchman is just a henchman.
Your boss, Agent Warden, is next, Pigless. And with that, Pigless vanished. From day 85 to day 89, I went back to my base to tell everyone that I had defeated Pigless in battle. I went and visited the scientist first to inquire about the state of the statue.
I've made some amazing strides in the pursuit of the statue, but I'm still missing some materials. Could you grab me some more wood?
Sure, let me grab some from my chest. I took some wood from my chest and brought it back to Dr. Hardy, who then escorted me to the statue. It was a statue of Dr. Hardy, halfway through transforming into normal Venom. I guess he must have been a big fan. Afterwards, I returned to the side of the end portal, where Agent Horace was waiting for me.
It seems that Agent Warden has already gone to the end to harness the materials there. If the destroyer falls into his hands, he'll be even more unstoppable than a big pigman with a battle axe.
That's pretty specific, but I totally understand what you mean.
These Eyes of Ender that the Royal Guards have gathered should be able to jumpstart the portal. Get in there and make us proud.
Yes, sir. He activated the portal and I stepped through. Suddenly, I found myself in the Nightshade Forest. This must be the main biome of the dimension known as the End. This is feeling strangely familiar again. Not too far away, I saw the destroyer lying on the ground. I didn't have time to go and grab it. An Enderman appeared out of the trees and started to attack me. Ugh, I guess I've got to deal with the mob first. I used my diamond sword combined with my claw attacks to make the Enderman back off and run away. With the mob gone, I picked up the destroyer and headed back towards the portal. From day 90 to day 94, I heard someone sneaking up behind me. It was Agent Warden.
Welcome home, Diamond in the Rough.
This isn't my home. Home is on the other side of this portal, and I intend on going back. After I defeat you, that is.
You won't defeat me, Agent Zozo. You're just like me. The diamond symbiote that grants you all of your powers is from the End. That's why this place is your home.
I'm from the End?
Yes, and that's why I want you on my side. I need someone to help me reap the rewards that exist in this world. The materials that gave me powers could make an army of Sonic warriors.
I'm not joining you. Area 52 trusted me to take you down, and that's what I'll do.
You're making a mistake. Agent Horace and the others are weak, and that's why they capture and create super beings to fight their battles. I think we should choose our own battles, don't you?
I actually agree. That's why I'm choosing my battle to be me versus you. I threw my javelin, but Agent Warden took it like it was nothing and bombarded me with a sonic blast. Even though I'd gotten stronger, sonic attacks were still my weakness. His powers had increased so much that I was powerless against him. Agent Warden hit me with a few melee attacks before knocking me out and stealing the destroyer.
I'll be having that. See you on the other side, Diamond in the Rough.
He ran off through my end portal. From day 95 to day 97, I was able to muster enough strength to crawl my way to the portal. There's no time to lose. I have to warn Agent Horace. And with that, I crawled into the portal. When I got to the secret research lab of Area 52, I found that all of the Royal Guards had been wiped out by Agent Warden in a destruction spree. This was definitely the Destroyer's handiwork. I kept searching around until I stumbled upon Agent Horace. He was the last one alive and was hanging on by a thread.
You sure kept us waiting, huh?
Agent Horace, I'm sorry. I couldn't stop him. He used my weakness against me.
No, Agent Zozo, I'm sorry. It was our foolishness and greed that led to Agent Warden's rise to power. If only we had been more careful and not tried to turn what we didn't understand into weapons.
You couldn't have known he'd go this evil.
It's alright. Area 52 will be no more after I'm gone. I need you to clean up our last mess, Diamond Venom. Make sure you stop him.
Horace died, trying to harness the forces beyond his control. Now Agent Warden was trying to do the same thing. I'd make sure it didn't end well for him either. On day 98, I found my base had been destroyed in another one of Agent Warden's evil rampages. The scientist, Isolager, and Skeleton Jackal were all destroyed too. Every member of my team, gone. This is unforgivable. I knew Agent Warden was my arch nemesis, but I never thought he'd go this far. I stood there in total shock for a long time until I heard some familiar heavy footsteps. Robbie.
Agent Zozo! No, just Zozo. I'm sorry that I couldn't protect the rest of the team. He was too strong.
Don't beat yourself up about it, Robbie. I feel a bit better knowing that at least my very first friend is still here with me.
You know what? I feel the same way. You're alive, and I'm alive. We've got to do something to make that count.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We're gonna take back the destroyer, and then we're gonna give Agent Warden payback for everything he's done!
Now that's the symbiote I know. Let's rock!
On day 99, Robbie and I closed in on Agent Warden's secret base, which hadn't changed location since the time I fought Pigless there.
I'll lure Agent Warden out with a distraction. Then you surprise attack him and steal the destroyer.
Sounds good. Be careful, Robbie. I went to hide behind a tree as Robbie stepped out and waved his arms.
Hey Warden, look at me! I'm so destroyable! Haha, come destroy me!
Sure enough, Agent Warden stepped out of the base with the destroyer in his hands. He started moving towards Robbie. Now is my chance! I used my dash ability to rush at Agent Warden. Just as planned, I was able to grab the destroyer and run away. Robbie turned and ran away too.
Haha, I'm not destroyed! Better luck next time!
When we got back to the base, I immediately took a closer look at the destroyer. It was definitely made with the same materials that made Agent Warden's sonic blast so strong. It was also from the end, like my symbiote. Maybe if I… Well, here goes nothing! I absorbed the material in the destroyer using my symbiote, and I could feel that it was enhancing my diamond skin to a whole new level of durability. It worked! Now my souped up diamond skin will be able to resist his sonic attacks. On day 100, I returned to Agent Warden's secret base for our final showdown. I of course brought Robbie with me. We entered his base and went downstairs. This time, Agent Warden was already waiting for us in his underground lair. This stops here, Agent Warden. You're not destroying anything else in your quest for mad science.
When will you learn, symbiote? My sonic attacks will render you immobile once again!
He fired a sonic blast at me, but I didn't even flinch this time. Because despite its name, the destroyer had made me indestructible.
How did you do that? I knew your weakness!
It's like you always said, I am a diamond in the rough, and now this diamond is gonna rough you up. I called forth the destroyer from within my symbiote and attacked using it. The shockwave smashed the surrounding area and did serious damage to Agent Warden.
He's weak. My turn.
Robbie rushed in and smacked him with his golem arms a couple times. I joined in with a diamond claw attack. Agent Warden tried to fight back, but his powers were useless against me now.
Please, no more.
This is for everyone at Area 52 and everyone at my base too.
No, please! All I wanted was to be able to blow up whatever I wanted! I was just acting mysterious to look cool!
Well, now the truth is out, and the truth is, you got what was coming to you. Then, I swung the destroyer one last time, and he was gone! Leaving me and Robbie to celebrate the fact that the world was safe again.